right, back at it once again. Another night of high school football here in North Central Florida alongside the All-American Shannon Snell. I am Jeff Cardozo, and we, as always, are very excited. But tonight is one of those rivalries. We saw it last week already, but Newberry, Hawthorne, it seems like every week there's no love lost.
Jeff, how can we top last week? A double overtime game right out of the gates, right? But this is what I've been waiting for. Ed Johnson versus Cornelius Ingram. Two coaches that respect each other, but their teams don't like each other. Let's get to this tonight, Jeff.
And two teams that we could easily see in the postseason make a really long run. So, Shannon, what's that jump, though, like from week 1 to week 2? Do you learn a lot of things in that little amount of time?
It's the biggest jump, right? All the mistakes are improved on. Those little things that affected you in game 1 are not going to affect you tonight. Those lights, when they come on, you should be better from game 1 to game 2, and we should see the best out of both teams here tonight.
All right, so let's start with our Sonny's recipe for success. Sonny's been doing it for a really long time, and who's going to do it tonight, Shannon?
Let's talk about Newberry. One last shot, right, for these seniors. You got one last shot to beat Newberry. Newberry has taken this rivalry for years. This is their last shot for Newberry to win this game tonight. They want to take it against Hawthorne, and they got to get off the field, right? Hawthorne loves the dink and dunk. They love to run the football. They love to keep these long drives going. If you're Newberry, you got to get off the field tonight. And if you're Hawthorne, gang, baby, you got to tackle. All right, they got to tackle tonight, and that's something they do really well. Gang tackling and make sure they get these Newberry defenders on the ground and pressure burst pipes. They got some guys on that front that can get after the quarterback, and Newberry likes to throw the ball around. Got to get after the ball tonight if you're Hawthorne. Get some pressure on that quarterback.
Well, there's a lot of players that are going to be getting after it tonight. Dudes all over the field, but who are the best of the best? Brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 1205.
Yeah, we're talking Newberry, number 4, the Minnesota commit, Hayden Moore. Fantastic wide receiver, 80 yards last week with a touchdown. He's going to be the guy, the ball's in his hands, electric things tend to happen. And if you're Hawthorne, Jakari Lockhart, who had 3 sacks last week, he's the new up-and-coming sophomore. Listen, Hawthorne always keeps a pass rusher. He's the next coming. Look out for him. He's going to get some pressure tonight.
Well, the Newberry fans have been lining the gates about an hour and a half before game time, so we're inching closer and closer to getting after it, and we can't wait to have it happen. We'll come back, give you the starting lineups, and then it is go time here on Friday Night Rivals. All right, we welcome you back. Tonight's coin toss presented by Radiant Credit Union. Define your financial future. Got the captains out there. Randy out ready to go as well.
Jeff, this is going to be the least physical part of this football game because these teams do not like each other. It's going to be a hard-hitting football game as it has been in the past.
So it looks like Newberry has won the toss. They've deferred.
So, and there's Coach Cornelius Ingram right there. You know, he's that guy, right? The dominance that they've had. Had the pleasure of seeing them in the state championship game against Madison County last year. And, you know, Coach Ingram is just, you know, he is one of those guys that is so important to not only the Hawthorne football team, but also to the community. You see Ed Johnson right there, 2 guys, friends, rivals. Jeff, these guys have gotten after each other. And remember that game last year?
Oh, yeah.
Down to a tush push. And it was just, it went back and forth. And, you know, Coach Ed Johnson wants to walk away with the win here. I talked to him before the game, and these seniors want to go out and they want to take this one from Hawthorne here tonight.
Overtime a year ago, Cornelius Ingram now in his 11th season at Hawthorne, a couple of state championships, of course, and Ed Johnson has done a phenomenal job at Newberry, always a perennial powerhouse. So it'll be a lot of fun tonight. Looks like the weather is good. Sun bursting through the clouds, even though we are running out of daylight. But sit back, relax, and enjoy, because this should be a fun one tonight between Newberry, their first home game of the night. Newberry ended up dropping their opener last week. Hawthorne won their opener. So we'll see what gives tonight. And we are finally ready to go as Caden Bush, the kicker, just a freshman, 6 feet, 220-pounder, gets ready to get things going tonight in Newberry. Asked his team if he's ready. The other 10 guys said, let's do this thing, and here we go. About the 15-yard line. And a nice return down the right side of the field. That is Darian Bowie, senior. And he gives Hawthorne some nice starting field position. He is driven out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line.
And this is what we love to see about Hawthorne. There's big game, and we've seen this in previous years, Jeff, with these two teams. There's been big plays in the special teams. We didn't talk about that at the Open, but there's always a big play in the special teams. There's something different that happens in this game that dictates the outcome. So we expect nothing less here tonight.
Hawthorne led by their sophomore quarterback, Richard Roundtree Jr., 5'10", 160 pounds. Got a lot of playing time last year as a freshman. And Shannon talked about that jump from year 1 to year 2 and game 1 to game 2, certainly. And now we'll see what Richard Roundtree can do here against Newberry. 3 guys on the left side of the formation. They'll fake the toss. Roundtree rolls out to the right, has a wide open receiver. That is Dominic Harvey, and he's got himself a ginormous gain. Great play fake by the sophomore, and already on the other side of the field, that's a gain of about 35 yards.
Yeah, Roundtree can toss it around a little bit. You got to be aware of his legs. He can run it around. He can toss it around. So great play action on that first play of the game, and you see the Hawthorne offense right here.
You see Roundtree, 4 different receivers he'll have out there at time. Derek Gillens out there as well. Our starting lineup is brought to you by IBEW Local 1205, powering a brighter future. So 1st and 10 for the Hornets already on the Newberry side of the field. Roundtree will take the shotgun snap. He'll hand it off. And a nice gain right up the middle. That's about 7 for Derek Gillens, just a sophomore, 5'8", 225-pounder. That's a big dude.
That's a bowling ball. Yeah, that's a bowling ball right there. And you talk to Coach Cornelius Ingram. This team is really young. You're going to see that a lot out of this team, but they're young, but they're very, very athletic.
And that is the Newberry defense that they will go up against. Also brought to you by IBEW, Local 1205, powering a brighter future. They've got athletes that Johnson does all over the field. The defensive coordinator is Jeremy Green. He's been here 14 years now here at Newberry. And there's that defense showing off just a little bit as Devon Rim, the senior linebacker, gets in for a minimal gain.
Yeah, Rim able to chase that counter down, make the tackle for a minimal gain, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to have to play assignment football. They're going to have to get these guys on the ground. One thing Hawthorne's always been good at is breaking that first tackle and making those minimal gains and turning them into big plays.
So 3rd and about 3 now for Hawthorne. Roundtree will have those 4 receivers. Trips to the left side of the formation. But he'll hand it off again to the big bruiser. And
I don't think he got it, Jeff.
It looks like Gillens just got past the line to gain. Newberry did hold him up. Yeah, I think.
He got it.
I think he got it. So a nice, again, hard, aggressive run by the sophomore. And that'll be another 1st down.
Yeah, able to get up there, counter play, got the guard tackle pulling around the edge and trying to knock out. It's 4th and 1, Jeff. They didn't give it to him.
Oh, wow. No, I think they are now.
Okay, they're walking it. All right. Yeah, nice job by the tackle guard being able to pull around, kick out the end. The guard coming up and kicking out that linebacker and getting just what they need for that 1st down.
Yeah, how about Shannon, the NFL this year, which of course starts next week. They're going to be using replay and just to get that fine line, so they don't even have the chain gang anymore.
Yeah, did you see the technology that there is now? I mean, we're not going to get that here, but, it's good to see, and it's good to see that they're taking it out of refs' hands and making things a little bit more precise, if you will.
Yeah, have the technology, might as well go ahead and use it. All right, trips again to the left for Roundtree. He'll look out that way, a quick hitter. He's found his man, and breaking a tackle is Darian Bowie. He'll gain about 4 on the play.
And there we go right there. That was a no-gain play right there, but Bowie able to break that little tackle right there and get extra yards, make it 2nd and 6. And that's what Hawthorne does. They're able to get themselves a really good plus yardage situation when it comes into the sticks, and now everything's open. Run, pass, just what they do, and they do it well.
We saw 2 teams last week, Shannon, that really like to run the football. So now you've got an offense in Hawthorne that likes to spread them out 4 wide again, but they'll hand it off the gut. And a nice run by Gillens. And he's got first down yardage, so that's going to be first and goal at the 6-yard line.
Yeah, Newberry's going to get a nice healthy diet of Gillens tonight. One of those guys low to the ground, low center of gravity. It takes, as you can see right here, it takes more than one guy to bring down a 225-pound guy. So got to be able to get that guy to the ground.
Got a Newberry player down on the field. So as we have the opportunity, let's head down to the sidelines. A guy that is way prettier than Shannon and I. That's why they put him on camera all the time. He's our sideline guy. Here's Randy.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for lying. First of all, Shannon was talking about all three phases of football. That was a key in that loss last week for Newberry. They lost 47-14 to University Christian, but they led 14-8 after one quarter. The problem they had, it was on punting. 2 bad snaps and 2 punt blocks led to 21 points for University Christian. So special teams, as you mentioned, Shannon, could be very important in this contest tonight.
Yeah, certainly a big emphasis, and we talk about it all the time, Shannon. I mean, all the accolades go to offense and defense, but that third part of football, the special teams, is often unnoticed, but such a huge difference sometimes in wins and losses.
Yeah, the kicking game is huge, and we're talking about this kind of game here, Jeff, could come down to a field goal. It could come down to a bad snap on an extra point, as Randy pointed out. You know, Newberry dropped that game. Newberry's been one of those teams that's just been super competitive in every game that they played, but to lose the University Christian 47-14, it was because of abnormal. It's because of that special team play. And our coaches always told us in the past, it's like, hey, there's 3 phases of the game. There's offense, there's defense, and there's special teams. Those 3 things aren't firing on all cylinders, and you can lose a game anytime.
Well, training staff continues to be out there. You see the UF Health logo, great orthopedics and sports medicine crew here, and they've got several of the doctors. So you know that anybody that certainly becomes injured, they have the best care. These are the same doctors that are taking care of the University of Florida Gator athletes, that are same doctors and athletic trainers that are here from UF Health. So this community gets a lot of great people looking after them week in and week out. Well, it was a great week 1 for many high school teams across the country, and of course we've got Friday night rivals all over the place. So let's take a look back at some of the great things that happened in week 1.
Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country.
Sweet wide pump fakes, goes end zone wide open, and one-handed catch. Are you kidding me?
Well, I'll tell you that you're going to watch the defender falls down, and Sheffield still has to make a spectacular grab.
Allen rolling, has time if he wants to run. Rolling has a guy over the middle. It's intercepted right into the hands of Logan Steele, and he's gone. No one will catch the long jump gold medalist and the second in the 100, Logan Steele.
Oh, new running back in the ball game, and he got tattooed and suplex. Speaking of wrestling, that was bad enough right there. And then, bam.
Big number 90, Maurice Horry right there. He got his money.
Wolf fires downfield. He has a man, but lobs it up. It's a 50-50 ball, and it's picked off by Manheim Township. Coming up and making the interception is Dixon. It was a 50-50 ball, and Dixon comes up and has the INT. Dixon, the 5.
Does it get off? Ready, go. Off the line of scrimmage. And look at the speed, the quickness. Good recovery there. Gets it back over to the sideline. Excellent execution for Champ.
So great stuff. Certainly not what's happening on the field right now, as the athletic trainers and docs and team personnel continue to tend to one of the Newberry players. But Shannon, you ever teach your pup to retrieve a tee like that?
If I sent him out there, he'd probably end up running away, and I'd be looking for a new dog, right? No, I didn't, Jeff. And it's actually cool to see some of that stuff around. A dog being able to do that, that's actually a very well-trained puppy right there.
Well, we've seen it across minor league baseball and Major League Baseball, too. They've trained dogs to go out and retrieve the bats and replace ball boys and ball girls, so pretty cool. how they're incorporating man's best friend into all those types of things. All right, I think we have an injury update down on the field, so let's go back down and check in with Randy Reinhardt.
Yeah, guys, I think it's number 3, Larry DeBose, outstanding defensive back for Newberry, guy that had 38 tackles last season. He got an offer from Wofford, but he's already committed to Northern Illinois. It would be a huge loss. They appear to be attending to his neck right now. His jersey has already been taken off as you look over my left shoulder, and they're still attending to him right now, trying to get him onto the stretcher to get him safely off the field.
Randy, thank you, and certainly we wish him all the best. I know some of the family members have run down there as well. They're making sure that everything is okay. Certainly something you never want to see and be a part of.
Yeah, forget rivalry games for a second. I think a lot of us come into this thing, Jeff, and I've seen over time gruesome injuries, stuff that's happened to teammates, and you never want something like this to happen, whether you're playing against a team, whether you guys are rivals. At the end of the day, you want everybody to walk off the field safe because it's in the spirit of competition. First drive of the game, this young man didn't expect this to happen, and we wish and pray the best for him, that he gets up and he recovers from this, and forget about football for a second, that he's able to kind of just recover from this and be healthy.
Yeah, and you certainly hope the measures they have taken are all precautionary. But again, I think that's what is great about what we now have here at the high school level, and the ability. I mean, Shannon, I don't know if you had them, but I certainly don't remember in high school having the ability to have athletic trainers there and team doctors on the sidelines and everything like that.
No, a lot of times it was a volunteer.
Yeah,
and that's what it was. So we come a long way with player safety. We see, and a lot of people see it across the NFL. A lot of people doing it in college. You're not allowed to hit people in the head anymore, and that stuff was cheered, and hey, the tougher you are, if you were able to get up from it, the better it was. But now it's like you want these guys to walk away. You want, long after their careers are done, whether it be at the high school level or at college or the pro level, to be able to walk away and to be able to be a healthy, productive member of society.
Well, and I think certainly the treatment and the care that these players get on a daily basis, because every high school here in North Central Florida is assigned a UF Health athletic trainer. They've got people that are here with them all the time during practice and certainly the games. And they go through rigorous training as well. Toby Harkins is a guy that works with the Florida Gator football team. He's one of the head athletic trainers that oversees and does the training, does a great job of making sure that all of these trainers that are in the high schools, wherever they're coming from, are a part of things. And it's been so successful that you've had guys hang around this athletic training program for 15, 20 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
all right, well, we're going to, as they continue to tend to Larry DeBose down there on the field, the senior defensive back, we'll step aside for a timeout, and we'll come back and continue with our coverage on Friday Night Rivals right after this. We welcome you back to Friday Night Rivals, presented by Radiant Credit Union. Just underway. It's the first drive of the game, but we've got an injury down on the field. One of the Newberry players, Larry DeBose, a senior defensive back, and they have now had to bring the ambulance out on the field. So Alachua County Fire Rescue is here, and we will go back down to Randy for an update and let him tell us about who we got being the Zebras tonight here on the field.
The guy's a bit of a silver lining and update. I've been able to watch the hands move, and also Larry DeBose is just having a conversation with the trainers and the EMTs on the field right now too, and the entire team from Newberry has just come out on the field to attend to him as well, and wishing him the very best right now as they'll lift him up from that stretcher on the scissor lift that it has, and then load him into the Alachua County Rescue Squad as well too. So it's ironic because remember a year ago when we did this game over at Hawthorne, it was Hayden Moore, the outstanding wide receiver for Newberry, who got injured in that contest, and he is healthy and well now. In fact, he is already committed to the University of Minnesota as a wideout for next season. Our officiating crew well seasoned here tonight. Our referee, the man in the white hat, Darian Blue, is a longtime member of the corrections department at the Florida penal system. In fact, he supervised death row for a number of years. 5 of the guys on this crew have experience as being prison officers or juvenile officers as well too. So as we speak, the fans just gave a hand to DeBose as Lahiri raised up that thumb too, just to say, you know, I'm okay, I'm doing the best I can right now. So guys, that's the status right now as they get ready to load him into the ambulance. We'll throw it back upstairs to you.
Randy, thank you. Certainly some good news there with the movement and everything else. And again, great job by the athletic trainers here, the staff at UF Health, Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. They were here initially, were able to tend to him right away, and then certainly we hope for the best. But yeah, it's you know, kind of crazy because we did see that. We had that long delay with Hayden Moore a year ago, and you wondered what was going to happen and everything was going to be okay. And Moore ended up getting some great care, and obviously is doing some great things, committing to play at the next level.
You know, it's funny, and this is it sometimes can bring a team together. We see, you know, Newberry get gashed in that first drive and talking about going back to football, but sometimes an injury like this can bring a team together, especially when you're playing for your brother. I think a lot of us have talked about that, have seen that. If you play team sports and you've seen an injury, you always could think, hey, that's me, right? You never want to go out there scared. You never want to go out there with fear. But you could have said, hey, that could have been me. You know, that could have been, you know, my play right there. So this has some odd way of bringing the team together. And you see Newberry, who's very involved in this, you know, Christian-based faith, praying together. And these guys, something's going to happen here, Jeff. We saw it last year when Hayden Moore went down. Is that they flipped the switch. They were, you know, Hawthorne was beating up on them, and all of a sudden they flipped and they just started playing better, and they took him down to the wire. So maybe this motivates them to say, hey, our brother, he's on his way to the hospital. He's going to be fine with those thumbs up. But here we go. It's time to get back to playing football.
Well, and Randy always gives us great updates and, you know, finds all the personal information on the refs and coaches and parents and everybody else. And I remember Shannon, when I got here, said we were over by the refs, and Shannon said, man, a lot of those guys look really familiar. It's just, I can't figure out where it's from. And now you realize they were your guards.
Yeah, they were.
When you were in the.
Yeah, well, you know, I could run a little faster back in the days, but, you know, I'm not going down there messing with them. Jeez.
Well, he has been loaded into the ambulance. Looks like parents or some family members are a part of that as well. So they're in there, and they will get a ride and giving hugs to the sheriff officer that are here. So hopefully everything turns out to be okay, and we should resume play here in just a few minutes. But, you know, as we have this opportunity, and you know, we talk about high school football a lot. How about what's going on in college football tomorrow?
Yeah,
not only here locally as the Florida Gators get going, and you know, DJ Lagway today becomes a Jordan athlete. So this is what NIL has turned into, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm a little jealous now because I would have loved to be a Jordan athlete, even though I probably would have been a Sonny's barbecue athlete. But at the end of the day, this NIL has given these guys the opportunity to really capitalize off their name, image, and likeness. And you know, it's great because of the very fact that, you know, they're building a brand for themselves before they get out of high school, and maybe they might not make it to the league, Jeff. You know, a devastating injury something could happen. Well, at least gives them the opportunity, and even for DJ being the very first guy, he's basically set a precedence for what NIL looks like in the future, and I'm super excited for him, and I'm honestly super excited for every athlete that has the ability to get themselves an NIL deal and capitalize off that.
Well, there you see the ambulance heading off, and you saw before that Ed Johnson consoling some of the teammates. So we'll see how those players can react. We'll take one final break. We'll allow the teams to get stretched out again, and then we will resume football here on Friday Night Rivals, IBEW Local 1205, presented by Radiant Credit Union, when we come back. We welcome you back to Newberry. Still the first drive of the game. Play about to resume alongside Shannon Snell. Jeff Cardozo here with you. Glad that you have joined us. As the players took a couple of minutes, get stretched out again, and we will resume first and goal now for Hawthorne on the 6-yard line.
Yeah, kind of a surgical drive here. Hit a big pass over top to get themselves in a really good position, and here they are. Decided to run the ball. You got a steady dose of Derek Gillens down here, and see if he's going to punch it in.
Gillens in the backfield again, and they'll get it to him.
Oh, boy.
How about that? Well, Shannon, you talked about
I said it.
Changing potentially, and on the first play, we see a turnover when Hawthorne was about to go and punch it in.
Yeah, also what's not good is Looks like one of the Hawthorne players is down now.
And that's Roundtree.
Oh boy, that can't happen, you know. Hopefully he's okay. He can walk that off, but it looks like he's fine. But yeah, and that's what happens, Jeff. I mean, your brother goes down, and the guys that they're not as loose. Hawthorne's pushing that ball down there. They're just really just running and gunning, and all of a sudden, an injury happens, and then you lose that mojo. You lose that little mantra that you had going into the end zone. You turn the ball over, gives Newberry new life.
So Newberry takes the field on offense for the first time. They're led by Kobe Johnson, the senior quarterback, 5'9", 150-pounder, and there you see the rest of the Newberry offense.
Yeah, Caleb Woods, we talked about. Caleb's been great in this offense, and we talked about Hayden Moore at the beginning of this telecast. Going to see the ball in his hands quite a bit.
Well, there is Woods on the quick little hitter, and that'll be a gain of about 5 or so on first down. You always got to love that as a quarterback because that counts as a reception and a pass.
It does, that little touch pass where if you just need a little something. Look at number 45 right there. Just an absolute monster. That's Jakari Lockhart. 3 sacks last week, able to come off that edge. He's the next coming for this Hawthorne team.
Yeah, Lockhart 6'5", 280, and he's just a sophomore. And there you see the rest of that starting lineup, IBEW Local 1205, powering a brighter future for the Hornets. Defense that has always been strong under Cornelius Ingram. There's a quick pass and a nice job by Jevion Long hauling it in, and that'll be the initial first down. A UF Health Ortho Care first down where walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week.
You're going to see a nice mix, and this is what Newberry has to do. They have to run the ball to keep Hawthorne honest, but they're going to throw it around a lot. They got some playmakers on the edge. They got guys that really can take it the distance, so got to stay balanced here. Keep Hawthorne on their heels.
Yeah, Johnson not a big quarterback by any means. Again, at just 5'9", but he can run it around. He can elude guys and make some special things happen. Here's Jamarcus Wimberly trying to get to the outside, but there you see the speed of that Hawthorne defense, and Kamari DeBose, the first one to get a hit on the Panther running back.
You would see this out of this Hawthorne defense. They run really well sideline to sideline. To beat them in the run game, you have to run directly at them. Sideline to sideline, these guys got great speed. They gang tackle well, so you got to be able to go north and south on them.
Jason Martin in on the play as well, the big defensive end. He lines up on the left side of the defense. Quarterback keeps this time, trying to get to the outside, but they're going to get a flag there. And that's always really, really hard. You see the athleticism again by Johnson, but he went down very late.
Yeah, you see Kamari DeBose right there coming up. What is he supposed to do?
Yeah.
I don't enjoy this call because of the very fact is that, yeah, you can say he launched and yada, 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 and, it didn't really touch him. And, it was and this is the part of the game about being safe and we talk about, but here you see coming around the edge and you see Kamari DeBose he's trying to stop him from getting the first down. That's all he's doing. I don't think there was really helmet contact, even though it was called. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you kind of see that. He dropped his head. But it's one of those things where the protection on quarterbacks has been amplified over the last couple of years, Jeff, to protect those headshots. And, it's got to get to a point where these quarterbacks got to start giving themselves up a lot earlier to help protect these defenders.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. You really can't react if you're a defender. And again, we talked about Johnson and his size shifty, just going down last minute. And you don't know what to do. Here's Johnson again, keeping it himself. And this time he is pulled down after just a couple-yard gain. Well, Lanakai Jackson, the senior linebacker, will get him.
And you got to love what Newberry's doing right now. Moving fast, up-tempo offense, spreading guys out, keeping it balanced. Really, really nice first drive here for the Newberry Panthers.
Well, Johnson lost his helmet on the play, so they'll have to use a different quarterback here for second and about 8.
And Kyler Ingram also coming in and laying some lumber right there. Listen, they got some athletes at that defensive back and linebacker spot if you're Hawthorne. So you got to look out if you're Newberry. Guy's going to come around and put the hit stick on you.
So the 2 athletes back there, Woods and Moore. It'll be Moore trying to keep it himself and trying to get around the corner. Breaks a couple of tackles. Nice little shifty run, but all that work for only a gain of about 2.
Yeah, to duck and dodge a few things. You can see his shiftiness. That ball gets in his hands. It makes people miss, and that's why Minnesota wants him so much, as do a lot of the other colleges around the country. And this is what he does. Get the ball in his hands, make some things happen. Now, the good news is, if you're Hawthorne, is that you tackle well. But if you let him get into the open field, things could get real dicey real quick.
Kobe Johnson back in the game now at quarterback. It'll be 3rd and 6 here on the initial drive of the game by Newberry. Penalty has gotten them across midfield. Johnson's got those guys back there with him again. Woods and Moore. And timeout by Ed Johnson, as Newberry wants to talk it over.
Yeah, a little confusion back there. Coach Ed Johnson says, just throw them hands up in the air, call timeout. Let's come discuss that. And once again, good drive by Newberry, right? Able to have the stop, right? And feels good that you were able to do it where you were and to move the ball. Regardless of what happens on this drive, you want to score points. That's always the goal. But you flip the field. All right, you flip the field. Now you're going to force, barring a turnover, you're going to force Hawthorne to try to go to long field again and reset on defense. So nice drive so right here by Newberry.
Ed Johnson in his 7th year now here at Newberry. Great season last year. They went 9-2. They were 5-0 in the region. 2A District 5.
And just think about the job he's done. Before Ed Johnson got here, Newberry wasn't a powerhouse. They were, middling team, a team that could win a few games, could surprise some people. But now every year he's got some players. He's got guys believing. He's got, people wanting, players wanting to transfer in to play for him. So he's created a really great program here at Newberry, and I know he would be rolling like a pig rolling the slop to win that eventual state championship.
Well, after the timeout, they decided to add a water break to it. So we will do that with them. We'll step aside here just early on, halfway through the first quarter, here with Hawthorne and Newberry scoreless on Friday Night Rivals. Well, time to raise the roof with Mission Metals. Mission Metals, your trusted hometown metal roofing and metal building supplier, right here on Friday Night Rivals. There you see the young Newberry cheerleaders. Always great to have the little ones here with the varsity team, get that experience. I know several high schools in the area do that. PK Young, another one that does.
That's pretty cool, like a big sister, little sister deal right there. Kind of gets them ready to become cheerleaders. I had the little junior cheerleaders. So that's pretty cool program they got going on there.
All right, big 3rd and 6 here for Newberry. Johnson will hand it off. Nice hole to the right side, and how about the hurdle? And a first down for Caleb Woods, running hard.
Boy. First of all, that was a hell of a call, right? Who expects a draw on 3rd and 6? Able to run right up the middle, right between that gap opens up. And if you're, Hawthorne like Ed Johnson does, they're pass rushers, right? Best way to be the pass rush is to run a draw right up the middle. And able to do that, Caleb Woods does what Caleb Woods does. Able to jump over a guy and then just truck a guy up, excuse me, and give me that, excuse me, and go up the sideline and get a big first down right there.
Yeah, give a lot of credit to that Newberry offensive line there. They parted the seas, so to speak, and a nice big hole for Woods to run right through. And that's becoming more in vogue, the hurdling. Certainly Saquon made that famous last year with the backwards hurdle, but we're seeing a lot of guys do that because I think partly, Shannon, what we're seeing, a lot of these defenders, they're not as big, so they're trying to go low, and these offensive players recognizing that.
Well, and the crazy part is these offensive players are much more athletic than they were years and years ago. They're getting bigger and faster and more agile. And go low on a guy you want, you're going to end up on a poster like a jump man poster of football. So,
all right. Well, the teams talk it over once again. It's our chance to thank the fine folks at Sonny's Barbecue for feeding our Friday Night Rivals crew tonight. Sonny's, we are barbecue, and there you see what they're doing here at Newberry. The burgers. We had some chicken and green beans, and they gave me 2 pieces of bread tonight, Shannon. I felt spoiled.
Well, I told them to, Jeff, because I said, listen, Jeff is hungry, and if Jeff's grumpy on the air, then Shannon's going to be grumpy on the air. So made it happen.
Sonny's Barbecue, awesome. We appreciate week in and week out what they do and how hard those guys work and pitmasters
absolutely
know the heck what they're doing.
They sure do.
All right, Johnson under center. He's going to hand it off again. And this little tighter running room. Wimberly trying to dance his way in and out, but he's actually going to lose a yard on the play as a bunch of white jerseys corralled him.
Yeah, there's that gang tackling I talked about. Obviously, it didn't happen on that last play, but they're able to settle in. And the one thing about Hawthorne is that they learn from their mistakes, right? You're not going to be able to gash them the entire game. And this is why it's important for Newberry to stay balanced, throw some play action in there, try to get some stuff to the flats, keep Hawthorne as unbalanced on defense as possible.
Loss of 3 on the play. Newberry will send a couple of receivers out left. And now a third, and they'll quickly get it out that way. But there's that gang tackling once again. Hawthorne read that right off the bat. Nathan Jennings, the junior cornerback, got over there in a hurry.
I'm telling you, these guys, they do such a wonderful job. When they get to the ball, they come with like violent intentions. And that is the best thing about them. You also see number 8 beside Gent right there, able to get in there. You got guys all over this field. See Gent able to come downhill, and 2 guys gang tackling. One guy gets there, the other guy comes with the violent intentions to knock you to the ground as hard as possible. And this is the Rubik's Cube that you have to uncork with this Hawthorne defense, is to try to figure out what they don't do well and to try to capitalize on it. And it's never as simple as it sounds.
So after the nice run to get the first down, Newberry going backwards on consecutive plays. And it's going to be 3rd and about 18 as Johnson fumbles the snap, tries to recover and get through the line. But Lanakai Jackson, the linebacker, says, you're not getting too far, and he can't even get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, just, two big defensive plays right there for Hawthorne, and then a bad snap. What was a great drive right there for Newberry. Now it's end up into looks like they're going to punt this ball away.
So now the test. Randy told you earlier that this was the issue for Newberry a week ago. Several bad snaps led to 21 points going the other way on special teams. So we'll see if the freshman Caden Bush can get this off and pin Hawthorne down there pretty low. Does get the punt off. That'll land about the 15-yard line, and the Panthers will down it there.
Well, that's got to be a win if you're Newberry.
All right, so each team with 1 possession. Nobody has scored yet. Only a couple of minutes left here in quarter number 1. We'll take a timeout, see what Hawthorne can do when they get the ball back here on Friday Night Rivals. We welcome you back to IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals, presented by Radiant Credit Union, alongside the All-American Shannon Snell. I am Jeff Cardozo. Randy Reinhardt down on the field. Dustin is making sure all the buttons are pressed and giving you all the great behind-the-scenes action. And we've got Ben running around as well, doing his thing. So great crew, great camera gang as well. They're all over the place, giving you all the sights and sounds and the pictures here as it starts to turn nighttime here in Newberry. Lights have been on since the onset of the game, but none of these offenses have turned the lights on yet. And we'll see if Hawthorne now can do something with their second possession. Bunch formation. They'll still have 4 receivers as Richard Roundtree will get it, fake the handoff. He'll roll right. Wide open receiver again. That is Bowie. But a nice job of some pursuit there by Newberry, holding him just a 3-yard gain, and a late flag coming in.
Yeah, learn from that first play of the game. It's kind of the same formation, that same motion, and all of a sudden, Newberry learned from it, made the tackle for very minimal gain.
Not sure where that signal is.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. That may be something new. But there's a bunch of new rule changes out in football and what we've seen in the pros and college. Maybe there was something in high school we didn't know about.
And it looks like it's going to be a personal foul there on Newberry. So a 15-yard penalty goes Hawthorne's way, and that'll be a first down
And listen, it might have got a little chippy right there. It was unsportsmanlike conduct. So who knows what could have happened? It looks like he might have grabbed him around the collar, might have said something to him. Who knows? We're not down on the field. I do know, Jeff, that as I played as a player, there was some really rough things that we said to each other. Like your mom is not she's not able to make cookies.
Roundtree hands it off. There is Gillens again, fighting hard around the right side of that offensive line for a nice gain on first down of about 7.
Yeah, and once again, here we go. This is what Hawthorne does well. They run the football. When they struggle with when they struggle through the air, when they struggle with their rollout game, they just hand the ball off. Got a big offensive line that blocks well, blocks in cohesion. Sure enough, they get these 7, 8, 9-yard chunks at a time and just continuously move the ball.
So 2nd and 3 for Hawthorne as the clock ticks down to about a minute to go here in quarter number 1. Roundtree with a quick hitter, finds his guy, and that'll be another first down, a UF Health OrthoCare first down where walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week. Good job by Roundtree. He got rid of that ball in a hurry.
Yeah, we talked about at the beginning of the telecast, Jeff. Dinkin and Duncan. They'll take a big run right there. They'll pass it off, a little 5-yard hitch. Roundtree puts it right on his chest. You turn it up, and you get another 7 yards. And this is the offense. If you struggle, you can hit these little short yard, high percentage passes and these big runs, and they'll make everything all better really quick.
Ed Johnson wants to call another timeout. He didn't look happy with the way the defense was set up. So 2nd timeout already for Newberry here in the first half with 39 seconds to go in quarter number 1.
Yeah, and right now we saw the fumble for the turnover that killed that Hawthorne first drive. I think Newberry was quite fortunate, but there's been very little resistance against what Hawthorne has been able to do here on offense here on the first quarter. If you're Newberry, you're going to have to do something to stop this run game. You got to stop that first and foremost, because it opens up everything else for play action. It opens everything up for the little quick hitch game. So they got to slow that down if they want to stay competitive in this game.
All right, let's send it back down to Randy, who's got a little something to say about the Hawthorne quarterback.
Yeah, Richard Roundtree got a lot of playing time last year in this game. Remember, there was another injury. Adrian Curtis had a sprained ankle in this game, so Roundtree came in to finish the contest. Also, 2 weeks later against Oakleaf, he threw a touchdown pass with no time left to go to win that game. And at that time, Coach Ingram said, this guy is going to play every week somehow, some way, and he has.
Yeah, great stuff, Randy. Yeah, Roundtree had to come in, and he was a big part of the overtime things. There's a big run right up the gut by Gillens again. He's got first down yardage and then some, a gain of about 19 there. And nobody touched him until he was 15 yards down the field.
Yeah, if you know Coach Cornelius Ingram, he's going to do the same thing over. He probably recognizes at this point that this offensive line has started to take over. You see a trap right there kicking out the end. Actually, it was a counter play that tackle turned up to kick out the backer. I mean, this counter play has killed this Newberry defense here on the onset of this football contest.
Well, it looks like Hawthorne is going to let the clock run down with 10 on there. It winds down 8, 7. So that'll go all the way to 0, and we've got a scoreless first quarter here on Friday Night Rivals in Newberry. But Hawthorne, for the second straight drive that they have possessed the ball, moving down the field in a hurry. We'll see if they can hang on to it this time and see if they can punch it in. That'll do it for quarter number 1, but plenty of football left. Stay with us here on Friday Night Rivals. Well, enjoying things here in Newberry tonight. It's the start of the second quarter. Shannon Snell, Jeff Cardozo riding that train up here.
You hear it?
Play this game. Quad City DJs.
Jeff, you are 100% invited to the barbecue, sir.
Well, Hawthorne's got the ball for the second time tonight. Made it all the way down to the 6-yard line in their first drive, but fumbled it away. So we'll see if they can do something with the second possession. Doing a nice job of getting down the field. Hawthorne has first down. Roundtree gets that ball tipped right off the line of scrimmage, and big Ja'Kai Dawson 6'2", 280-pound senior got his hands up and knocked that one down.
Yeah, nice job by Dawson. And this is taught by defensive line coaches around the country, is that if you can't get there as a pass rusher, you can't get to the quarterback, get your arms up and knock the ball down. That's exactly what he did, able to get a batted down pass there.
About Micah Parsons. How about that deal?
I don't want to talk about it. Dallas, you guys, you guys disappoint me every year, and you haven't failed me yet. So here we go again. So, you know.
Yeah, certainly one of the best pass rushers in the game, but couldn't come to an agreement, so now he's in Green Bay. All right, 2nd and 10 for Roundtree. He'll hand it off, and nothing going. That's a great job of pursuit there. Luke Bennett in there, the senior defensive end.
Excellent defensive end right there by Bennett. Bennett able to break down, didn't chase that play down inside, stayed home, and able to catch the bounce out and get the tackle for a loss right there. And this is critical when it comes to defensive end play. You got to stay home, got to be able to protect that edge. You see right there, if he gets outside that tackle, he gets outside that, it gets outside of Bennett right there. He's up that right sideline for big yardage.
Well, neither of these coaches want to take their timeouts into halftime. Both have been very aggressive at calling them, and Cornelius Ingram is now going to take the opportunity to talk it over a little bit more with his team. So it'll be 3rd and 14 when we come back. Hawthorne trying to score and be the first ones to do it here tonight on Friday Night Rivals. Well, fans, don't forget to stay tuned for the Pavlov halftime report. We'll have this week's Park Motor Group Scholar Athletes, Park's Motor Group, local roots, community pride, legendary rides. We'll also talk with tonight's participating school administrators, plus Thursday night lights and Friday night rival highlights from all over the country. It's all coming up in the Pavlov halftime report. Pavlov, the fastest and most reliable fiber internet in Gainesville. So 3rd and 14 now for Hawthorne. Trips receivers again to the left. Wiggins in the backfield. That's a nice pass right into the seam and caught by Willie Sutton, just a sophomore, but he got open and Roundtree put it right on his hands.
Yeah, that was easy. It didn't look like the inside of that, the middle of that field was being covered by Newberry, and a nice little slant route right there by Willie Sutton, able to get there and get a first down.
Sutton not even one of the starters, so it just shows you how deep this offense is for Hawthorne, how many young athletes that they have. Again, primarily sophomores and juniors. So if it's not this year, Cornelius Ingram has some dudes for the next couple of years.
Good Lord, does he? I mean, it's going to be scary. This year they're scary, but next year, oh my goodness.
Roundtree hands it off right up the gut. Gillen's still fighting, and it takes a lot of blue jerseys to bring him
he's still going.
He's all the way into the end zone.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, boy.
Chugging and churning. He never stopped, and all the way into the end zone. And Hawthorne is on the board for the first time tonight.
Gillen said, I woke up in beast mode. Listen, nice run right there. Able to get between those tackles. There was a whole Newberry team on him trying to tackle him and bring him to the ground. So that is the problem right there. And that's what we've seen tonight out of Derek Gillens, is that you haven't been able to tackle him. And when you're that low to the ground and you got that much mass coming behind you with all that power in those legs, there you go. That's what happens.
That's a Radiant Credit Union touchdown. Define your financial future. Well, you deserve a drink, young man.
Yeah, he does. Good Lord. What a run.
And Jennings tries for the extra point, and it is no good. Oof. Tried to kick that thing with his toe. It's like Steve Spurrier back in 1966, your old coach.
They got to get him one of those flat toe shoes so he can get that thing through the uprights.
All right, so let's check out the Parks Motor Group of Gainesville score summary. Local roots, community pride, and legendary rides. That was the big play of the drive. 3rd and 14, nice completion, and then just given to Gillens and let him go.
Well, 1, 2, 3. The whole Newberry team is right there. Nobody was able to tackle him. That is what you call grit. That is what you call. That's not a talent play right there, Jeff. That is just the will and the want to. Hey, this is the guts, and this is the hot hot hours that you spend out on the field in the summer and in the weight room and squatting all that weight, because there's times that come into a football game that kind of play happens, and that's what got that young man into the end zone.
And you know that's what everybody's looking for at the next level. Guys like that want to fight, don't give up.
Yeah, there's a fine line that separates the talented ones versus the 2-star, the 1-star versus the 5-stars. And those are the guys that give that extra effort, that give that extra will and want to, that get themselves and put their teams in such great positions like that.
Gillen's just a sophomore as well. All right, Nathan Jennings will tee it up. And Newberry will get the ball back, chasing some points.
And still is serve. I mean, they were able to create a turnover that first drive of the game. So you got to respond in turn. And you can't let this game kind of flounder on. We've seen it happen in recent week and the last week with Williston and Chiefland. Now we got to see it here. We've got to see them answer, got to see them put some points on the board, kill some time off this clock, and give their defense a little bit of a rest.
Well, time for a Sky Frog tree service kickoff. Sky Frog, stay motivated. Not a good kick. It's very similar to the extra point attempt. So that one will go out of bounds, and Newberry will start with some nice field position here for their second drive as they try to answer Hawthorne's touchdown.
Yeah, Darius Ford, it kind of looked like just a squib kick that came directly at him, able to kind of get his hands on it and knock it out of bounds. But Newberry's going to start at the right around the 30-yard line.
So Kobe Johnson, the senior, back to work. Hayden Moore will line up on the wide side of the field.
Looks like there's a little bit of confusion out there for Newberry, and this is not what you. This is bad news coming out of a change of possession here. They're going to have to call a timeout.
They'll have to run another player out there, is Aiden Wilcox, and they're still running.
Yeah, they have to call a timeout. That was just it. That looked like a really bad fire drill right there, where everybody was running in different directions.
So the third and final timeout already of the first half for Newberry, as coming out of the break, they weren't ready to go.
Jeff, we saw this similar thing last week where Williston burned all their timeouts in that second half and really needed them.
Yep.
It was a play-defining fumble where there was no quarterback in the backfield, and they rolled past and kind of maybe helped them lose the game there. So we can see the same thing here with Newberry, is that you're down to no timeouts. You got the whole second quarter left to go. You got to be able to get those calls, and I understand you got to use your timeouts when they're necessary. But coming off of a change of possession, as that was, there should never be that's never an okay thing.
Well, fans, during the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Paid for by NHTSA. High snap, but Johnson handles it. He'll hand it off, and a flag comes down as Wimberly is driven out of bounds after only a couple of yards.
Yeah, Wimberly's trying to shake and bake, but a lot of times when you see something bounce in and bounce out, and you see a yellow flag bounce in, it's probably a holding. Probably going to come back and be against Newberry.
Bubba Ennis, the offensive coordinator here for Newberry, second year here at the school. Or a few years ago, it was Travis McGriff, former Gator receiver, as the offensive coordinator, where his son Keel was a part of the team. They also had David Schmidt on that team a couple of years ago. Ended up being a walk-on receiver for the Gators.
I'm telling you, Newberry has some guys on this team, and as they do this year, they just got to get rolling. This offense has playmakers. We talk about Caleb Woods. You see Hayden Moore, Jamarcus Wimberly. You have guys all over this field that can really get it done. But when you go up against a defense that's as good as Hawthorne is, you can't really make mistakes. And one of the biggest mistakes that they're making now is they're moving themselves backward. A, holding call right there. B, and C, it's just, it seems like they're out of sync, Jeff. I mean, what happened last week against University Christian could be a little bit of a hangover from it. They got to get going here tonight if they don't want that same thing to happen.
A lot of negative plays here in the early going for Newberry. They've got trips receivers to the left side of the field. And now we've got some movement there by one of those receivers. Keandre Williams got a little anxious and he moved, so that'll be a false start. So that's now 15 yards going the wrong way for Newberry here on the drive.
Yeah, this is not a team. Once again, this is not a defense that you want to get this close to the end zone. They got pass rushers, right? We worry about the fact that a turnover could happen. We talk about a safety. They got big time pass rushers that love to get there, love to get the quarterback on the ground. So be aware of that if you're Coach Ed Johnson.
So 1st and 25 now. Johnson rolling to his left, has a receiver, and a nice completion there as Keandre Williams gets it. That's a difficult throw there by Johnson across his body, and he put it right into the chest of the receiver.
Across his body, rolling to the left with the right arm. Yeah, very, very great. Nice throw right there. Able to put it, pinpoint it between the defenders. So nice job getting that out of the end zone, getting that out of the shadow of your end zone, and getting yourself into a better position here.
And that's where Newberry has had the most success here in the early going, getting Johnson outside of the pocket, allowing his athletic ability to try to create and find some receivers down the field. And it looks like we've got a penalty.
It looks like a 15-yard variety, an unsportsmanlike conduct that gives Newberry first down.
So just like that, Newberry was going the wrong way. Now they're going the right way, just a couple of yards shy of midfield. And that'll be a UF Health Ortho Care first down where walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week. Right there off of 34th Street. Johnson will hand it off. Good cut to the outside. And gain of 4 before being pushed out of bounds by Kamari DeBose. Cornerback came in and laid a hit.
Yeah, Kamari DeBose comes up with violent intentions. That's what you love to see out of a cornerback, right? Cornerbacks, you think, oh, they just want to catch picks and bat balls down. But no, when you got one that comes up and says, forget about that. I'm not trying to strip the ball. I'm trying to strip you of your helmet. And sure enough, you better buckle your chin strap up, young man, because that guy's coming.
Wimberly does get Newberry across midfield. And he will remain in the backfield. Just to the right hip of Johnson. Johnson will get the shotgun snap, hand it off to Wimberly again. Good hold on the left side. First down yardage and plenty more. As that time, Wimberly laid the lumber, running over a couple of guys for a gain of about 18 yards.
That's how you give it out. You give it to him. Don't let him bring it to you. Excellent job up front by the offensive line, running right off guard, getting themselves a big first down right there.
You see the speed there of Wimberly as well.
This is the way you answer. This is the Newberry we were expecting to see. Offense starting to click a little bit.
They'll give it to Wimberly again, this time right up the middle, but he is stymied. Devon Rim, the linebacker, came in and met him right in the hole.
Said enough of that. There you go, shaking his finger. I see Kyler Ingram right there as well. Listen, you go back to the well too many times, they're going to figure you out. And sure enough, Kyler Ingram able to come up and lay a little bit of lumber himself.
So a gain of just 1 on the play. Newberry will now have Caleb Woods in the backfield. Trips receivers to the right. Johnson will fake it. Now roll to the right, trying to look down the field. He's got a guy, and there's his favorite target tonight. Keandre Williams goes up and gets it in the high points of football, and that'll be another first down for Newberry.
Looked like a couple little bit of wacky routes, that route concept out there. One guy looked like he didn't belong over there, but you see number 15, Keandre Williams, able to go up, high point that ball, and bring it down. You see 2 guys over there, right? Maybe just throw a jump ball over there, see what happens, but nice play, nice catch, nice first down.
So good answer here by Newberry as they have gotten to the 20-yard line. We'll see if they can punch it in and tie this thing up. Woods remains in the backfield. Trips receivers to the left for Newberry. Johnson trying to go to the corner of the end zone, and that one is going to be thrown out of bounds. Good coverage there by Nathan Jennings. Never really allowed the intended receiver to do anything.
Yeah, nice job by Jennings. As a cornerback, you always want to use that sideline as an extra defender, meaning you're back to it, that receiver's running himself out of there. He's got to make a tiptoe catch to try to make that, to get that done. And it looks like it was holding right down that play, Jeff, so that ball's going to come back about 10 yards.
That's a big penalty. Well, Newberry had 1st and 25 earlier in this drive. They were able to get it.
So we know it's in their playbook. Right? We know they can get this thing done. But things always get a little tougher as it gets tighter and tighter to the goal line.
Yep.
You know, that defense can tighten down a little bit. Those safeties can play a little bit closer to the box. It takes a few things out of your repertoire, out of your playbook. So if you're Newberry, got to get something here to get yourself in the 3rd and manageable.
Woods will ask Moore to start to run inside. He's going to try to find him down the middle of the field, but that is going to be knocked down and almost intercepted. Ball was underthrown just a little bit as Johnson didn't get enough on it as he was trying to hit Moore down the middle of the field.
Yeah, Johnson tossed that up. You would think he was throwing to one of the Hawthorne defenders. There was 3 in close proximity. They all went to each other and kind of a little bit of a crash pad over there, and they dropped the ball on the ground. Big missed turnover right there for Hawthorne. You see 3 defenders around, so there's, I mean, they were there to pull off that interception, but sure enough, it just bounced into the. Unfortunately for Newberry, it bounced to the ground.
So third and 20 now for Newberry, and they're just going to hand it off to Woods, trying to get around the left side. He'll get some positive yardage, about 7 on the play, but that's going to leave him well shy of the yard to gain.
Yeah. So what's the play here? Is they're going to bring out their?
I think you got to go for it.
Yeah, I feel like you have to
for a field goal.
Yeah, I feel like you have to, but yeah, what is it, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 14, something like that. Maybe a little bit closer.
Yeah, we saw Hawthorne get a big 3rd and 14 on their touchdown drive. So we'll see if Newberry can answer. Yeah, a little too far for a field goal, but certainly too short for a punt. So Woods will remain at running back. They'll hand it off to Woods again, but he has got nowhere to go. But he's fighting, spinning, and trying as hard as he can. He'll get down to about the 15-yard line, but Hawthorne with the stop. And that's going to make it 4th down. And now you're enough into field goal range.
So it was only 3rd down. Okay, I thought we were at 4th down. I didn't see the change here, but here's the big thing: is that these points are absolute must. All right, this would be a great answer. Make it make it half that, so make it a field goal game if you can make this field goal here.
So the freshman kicker will try a 32-yarder. Bush is got it blocked. So Hawthorne gets a couple of arms up there, and it looked like that might have been Messiah Gent or Drayson Martin getting in on the action, and Bush unable to get it through the uprights, and Hawthorne will continue to lead it 6-0 here on Friday Night Rivals.
I'll tell you something, Jeff. You know Hawthorne, and they have a bunch of basketball players on that team.
Oh yeah.
All their wide receivers play basketball on the other side of the season, so they're going to get up there, and one of those guys swatted that thing down.
So Hawthorne will take over once again when we come back. The Hornets, the visitors tonight, lead it 6-0 here in Newberry. Well, during the 4th quarter of the game tonight, we'll be selecting the IBEW Local 1205's Player of the Game, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 1205, powering a brighter future. That dude's powering the drum tonight.
Yeah, he's banging that thing away. He was doing a great job at the beginning, and we're talking about the player of the game. And I think Derek Gillens, who we might see a nice healthy dose of here on this drive, is the leader in the clubhouse.
He's got the only touchdown so far, a 15-yard scamper. Give Hawthorne the 6-0 lead. He is on the left hip, and a bad snap there for Roundtree. Let that thing go right through his hands, and fortunately for him, able to recover it, but some negative yardage once again as both of these teams continue to go backwards early on in downs.
And Jeff, we've seen this not only this week, we saw it last week. These snaps, that's the rule number one in shotgun snapping from center to quarterback, is that you have to get the ball in your hands. You cannot fumble it because it throws off the timing of the play. It knocks you back, obviously, right here and puts you behind the stick. So you got to be better if you're both Newberry and Hawthorne.
That'll be a 6-yard loss on the mishandled snap. So 2nd and long here for Hawthorne. They'll go trips receivers to the right. And now another timeout as Cornelius Ingram wants some more time to talk it over. Hawthorne's 2nd here in the first half. Well, that gives us the opportunity to give a shout out to Tucker Chiropractic. Appreciate all the things that Tucker Chiropractic does, and of course, as we all start to be weekend warriors again, or maybe you're just at a tailgate in one of these high school or college games and you decided to jump on a table or something like they do up in Buffalo, then might need a chiropractor.
Great minds think alike, even though that's not a great idea, right? I may need to go see the Tucker Chiropractic people to maybe adjust my spine after I try one of those, Jeff, because, getting up out of bed and stuff is not as easy as it used to be.
It's definitely not easy.
As not
anymore. Yeah, never thought there'd be aches and pains. Never thought you'd get like that dad belly. But you can't eat gummy bears like you used to, Shannon.
I know. Well, they're so good, Jeff. I mean, why? I mean, they're gummy bears, right? They're at the movie theater, they're at the store. You just got to quit staring me in the face. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, Roundtree back to work. He'll try to get it out to a receiver, but that one is over the head of Nathan Jennings, and Jennings just let that thing go by.
Yeah, Roundtree's got to kind of come down a little bit. He's made a couple mistakes here on this drive, and even throughout the first half of this game, the quarterback position for Hawthorne has got to be the director, right? C.J. Ingram there a couple years ago, played there some last year. C.J. was fantastic. Coach Cornelius is Ingram's son, but he was able to really direct this offense, running, gunning, put a lot of points on the board because he made such great decisions. And right now, if you're Roundtree, you got to get into that mode. You got to be able to direct this offense and get them down the field.
C.J. Ingram is here tonight. We'll see if Randy can find him, and maybe we'll get a word with the now University of Florida freshman basketball player. So taking in the footsteps of Pops and playing at the University of Florida. Roundtree trying to hit it down deep. He's got an open man, but in and out of the hands of Dakari Wiggins. He went up and just couldn't bring it down, and if he did, that would have been a huge gain there on third down.
I mean, this is one that he probably didn't even need to jump, Jeff. If he just runs under this ball, and you're going to see it here, really great throw by Roundtree. We talked about that. He can run under that ball. May have taken a big hit right there, so maybe a good idea to do that. But he's got to catch that. Hands are on it. Great pass. Got his hands on it. Got to pull it in. Got to help your quarterback out.
So Hawthorne forced to punt, and Nathan Jennings will do the honors.
And be aware, Hayden Moore's back there returning this punt. If this ball gets in his hand and he has a little bit of room, look out.
Jennings has struggled kicking it off the tee so far. We'll see if he can better. And he'll get that left-footed kick out of there. Not very deep at all, and that's going to settle down as a Newberry player jumps on it. Not really the smartest decision, but great field position here for Newberry as they'll take over on their own side of the field.
And number 10, Devin Rim, he made a decision, made a business decision to just jump on the ball. I don't know if it was a great decision, but it happened.
Well, and you see a teaching moment there as Ed Johnson says, may not want to do that next time.
Son, what are you thinking? But, in no uncertain terms, but needless to say, Newberry ball on their side of the field.
So Newberry will take back over, down 6-0. Made it all the way down to the 20, and then a penalty pushed him back, a holding call back to the 30, and then just weren't able to do anything, inevitably getting a field goal blocked on the last drive.
Yeah, they need points here, right? It would feel much better if you would have nailed that field goal, but you have the opportunity to maybe take the lead here.
Caleb Woods gets it, and he has got nowhere to go, but he will get the benefit of a face mask. Drayson Martin was there. The defensive end stayed home, but as he was trying to grab Woods, he grabbed some face mask, and that's going to be a big play on first down for Newberry.
Yeah, Kobe Johnson made sure he told the ref exactly what was going on in that play. Helping aid in that face mask call, but it's a 15-yard play. Exactly what you need if you're Newberry. No matter how you get it, it happened.
And there you see nowhere to go, but just sometimes you're trying to reach and bring a guy down, and you inadvertently grab it. So just what Newberry needed. Instead of negative yards, they get 15 on the penalty. And Woods will remain in the backfield back there with the senior quarterback, Kobe Johnson. Johnson will hand it off. Nice patient run. And around the right side of the offensive line for about 5 goes Caleb Woods.
Yeah, and you're seeing that play, which is a counter play. Both teams running it where you're pulling the guard and or the tackle up in the hole as a lead blocker. Both teams having pretty big success with it, right? You have 2 heavy-duty guys coming downhill, one on Newberry's side and Caleb Woods, and what we've already seen now to Derek Gillen. So it's a really tough play to defend, Jeff. It's sending guys into a hole, having to blow up the lead blocker, and sure enough, you see it here. See that tackle coming around, helping kick out the end right there. It's a natural play to where if you're coming out the tackle or the guard's butt, it's going to be 2 to 3 yards already before the defense has to play assignment football and try to make the tackle in the hole.
Well, Hawthorne is now getting a sideline warning. So no penalty there. Just the warning. And they'll have to back up a little bit. Heard Nick Saban today talk about how he hates so many players being on the sideline, especially in college when there's about 100 dudes all over the sideline. So he actually got to a point where he made some people that don't play stand behind the benches so they couldn't be a bunch of guys in his way.
That's got to be more enough of an incentive to try to get on the field.
That's right.
You can't say, yeah, I was on the sideline. Be like, no, you were actually behind the sideline. So.
Woods gets it again, trying to get up the middle. He's got some positive yardage. It looks like he'll be just shy of first down yardage, but appears that we have some more laundry down on the field.
Yeah, and this is starting to take over. We're seeing more and more here on the last couple of drives that yellow flag hitting the ground and this unnecessary penalties, right? We've seen face masks and unsportsmanlike conducts, illegal motion here for Newberry. So it's just been a variety of penalties that we thought we would see kind of kicked out the window after week 1, and both teams had to make the adjustments. And Jeff, you talked about it. Your biggest adjustments come from week 1 to week 2, yet we're seeing these yellow flags. So got to do a better job here on those second half adjustments, not having that flag hit the ground.
Well, Woods had enough yards for a first down, but instead it's back 5. So that'll make it 2nd and 8 for the Newberry offense. They'll hand it off. And there's a nice broken tackle and some hard-fought yards by Jamarcus Wimberly. Wimberly has been in and out of the game with Woods, and Wimberly, the harder runner so far here in the first half.
I feel like if you get Wimberly out in an open field, it's going to be a bad deal for if you're Hawthorne. Got a lot of shake and wiggle to him, but hit that hole with violent intentions and was able to get around there and took three guys to bring him down to the ground. So nice job right there by Wimberly of really making the best of that run.
And a gain of 8, and that was exactly what they needed for a first down. So that is another UF Health OrthoCare first down where walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week. Johnson will keep it this time, and then he will go down after gaining a couple.
Yeah, smart move if you're the quarterback. You see guys twice your size coming in to try to take your head off to get down. Don't need to lose Johnson in this football game. So nice job by Kobe Johnson getting down and getting what he could right there.
Well, clock continues to tick. We're under 2 minutes now here till halftime.
And nothing that Coach Ed Johnson can do, right? You're basically in your 2-minute offense. But once again, Jeff, you burned all your timeouts. We saw the same thing happen. So got to be able to execute without the assist of those timeouts.
Wimberly still in the backfield. He'll go out on a pattern as Johnson throws, and that's complete. Woo! And into the end zone goes Javian Long. So Hawthorne just didn't wrap up, and Long was strong all the way into the end zone.
Long was strong all day long, right? Nice job right there. able to complete that nice little pass. Kobe Johnson on that quick slant, and that's the one route that we saw them do early on in pregame, is to throw that little slant and able to put it right on his body. And nice job by Javion Long breaking 2 tackles. And unfortunately, one thing you don't see out of Hawthorne very much is those tackles are missed. But got to wrap that up because those things happen and able to get into the end zone.
So Caden Bush on for the extra point, which would give Newberry the lead. Good snap. But we've got a whistle before the snap. And Ed Johnson's looking around, holding his hands up like the field goal should be good.
Well, they blew that whistle before they even had the opportunity to kick that ball. That ball hit the foot. It's actually a false start. So
it doesn't matter anyway. Well, and Hawthorne also got a piece of that one. So that's the last 2 kicks. They've been able to get a piece of it right there in the middle. So Bush is going to have to bring it up a little bit.
See Javion Long right there with the big touchdown catch.
Extra point attempt this time from a little further is up and good.
Crushed that one.
So all of a sudden, Newberry has a lead in this one in a game that Hawthorne has really dominated. One nice drive by Newberry before the half here gives the home team the lead.
And this is what didn't we see this last week? Like the same kind of the breakdown is that, for Williston, which didn't play as well, right? Finally ended up catching up with Chiefland. Chiefland pulls it off in the end, but it just didn't tell the tale of what really happened. And even in this first half, Hawthorne has done such a great job running the football, hitting these little short passes, of dominating really the yardage on the ground on offense here in the first half. And all of a sudden, one missed extra point puts them behind the 8-ball right now with going into the half.
Well, it's time to raise the roof with Mission Metals. Mission Metals, your trusted hometown metal roofing and metal building supplier, right here on Friday Night Rivals. Crowd just below us here on the Panthers side of the field raising their hands. And I guess you could say the roof as well.
An important drive for Hawthorne, but even more important is to not turn the ball over, Jeff. 1 minute and 16 seconds left. You get desperate, right? Going into the half, you need a lead. So you got to be careful if you're Hawthorne.
And this one is returnable. Darian Bowie trying to get to the outside, but good pursuit there. They'll drive him down. Still nice field position to start off this drive for Hawthorne, as they will have the ball on their own 42-yard line after another Sky Frog tree service kickoff. Sky Frog, stay motivated.
Looks like there's a flag on the opposite side of the field over there, Jeff. So this might be coming back.
Yeah, legal block in the back. So that negates the good field position, and that'll bring Hawthorne all the way back to the 25-yard line. So we'll see what Hawthorne chooses to do here. Just 1 minute and 5 seconds on the clock. And really, with the struggles of the field goal kicking tonight for Hawthorne, they've got to pretty much drive the length of the field.
Yeah, with 1:06 left and only one timeout is not the most ideal situation. They can do it. They got the playmakers out there to make things happen, but a lot of things have to go in your favor, and you always run the risk, Jeff, of something silly happening, a pick six or a silly turnover, a silly fumble. So you got to be very, very, very careful of your coach, Cornelius Ingram.
Gillen's in the backfield with Richard Roundtree. See how Hawthorne decides to play it here. Roundtree going to pass. He'll zip it out. Wide receiver screen. And 3 Panther jerseys bring down the receiver, Dominic Harvey, after a gain of about 8.
Yeah, nice little throw and catch out there. Quick little screen just to get up. See if your playmaker can get in there, get big yardage right there. Wasn't able to, so be happy and content if you're Newberry.
So no first down and no getting out of bounds. Clock continues to run. 35 seconds now. As Roundtree gets a snap, he'll look down the field. He's got a man wide open, crossing midfield. And then finally taken down is Nathan Jennings. So that'll stop the clock for just a minute. Allow the chain gang to move, and Hawthorne will be right up on the ball. 22 seconds to go now in the half.
Yeah, another nice little slant play right there. Able to get up in the middle, and if you're Newberry, be careful, right? You want to kind of protect the middle of that field, right? They got a timeout left, so you got to do a better job of stopping these little short throws that going for big gains with a yard after catch.
Roundtree will have trips receivers to the right. Referee has just blown the ball in play. Roundtree looking, he's got a man down the middle, and that is a nice catch. Going up and getting it is Darian Bowie, and he is inside the 30-yard line.
Good gosh, man. I'm telling you, these playmakers on the outside, and Jeff, we didn't lie when we said, hey, these guys play basketball. Most of these wideouts and these defensive backs on this Hawthorne football team actually play basketball. So they will go halfway throughout the football season, they'll be playing basketball. They'll go to basketball practice. So, and Coach Cornelius Ingram believes that, hey, you should be a two-sport athlete. You should be a guy that not only should you play football, but it helps you with your basketball skills as well. So whenever you have guys like out there this athletic and get it done like this, it really is a dangerous combo.
So 12.7 seconds left on the clock. Hawthorne has just called their final timeout.
I mean, it really is jump ball time.
Yeah.
You got to be aware of that. Like, you can take a couple of 2 or 3 shots towards the end zone and try to get points on the board here.
Couple cracks in the end zone here for Cornelius Ingram and the Hawthorne offense. They'll have 3 receivers to the right and 2 more to the left. So 5 wide here for Roundtree. Couple of safeties deep for Newberry. And those are the 2 best athletes on the Newberry team, Woods and Moore, back there trying to knock it down. Roundtree looking around. He's going to go deep to the corner of the end zone, and that is a catch. Woo-hoo. And a touchdown. Roundtree just laid it right into the breadbasket of Nathan Jennings, and what a drive by Hawthorne.
That ish was surgical right there. I mean, I don't know if there was a better drive that we've seen out of Hawthorne in the last 2 years than what we just saw right there. It was a minute, 16 seconds left. They walked that ball down there, and Roundtree drops an absolute dime. This is cover 2 man, and drops an absolute dime right between the safety and the cornerback. And wonderful drive if you're Hawthorne.
So that's a Radiant Credit Union touchdown. Define your financial future. Hawthorne's going to go for 2 now and try to take the 7-point lead. And we've got a flag here before the 2-point attempt. Yeah, how about the throw by Roundtree?
Oh, man,
couldn't ask for anything better. You saw Moore there trying to get over from his safety spot in the last second.
Well, and here's the thing, Jeff, is that they had a slant route in the middle of the field that they hit earlier in that drive that kind of kept the safety at bay. Had to play that, had to want to keep everything in bounds. But all of a sudden, you see Roundtree launch just a missile out there and put it right on the dime, and sure enough, it led to 6 points.
Well, the penalty appears to be on Newberry here.
Illegal substitution.
But they're going to decline the penalty.
Interesting.
Which seems weird. Put them a little bit closer.
Maybe they have a play in the playbook that says, hey, it's 2 yards. We're going to make this play work for 2 yards. I don't know. Needless to say, Newberry needs to make a stop right here, right? Try to keep this inside of a touchdown game, if you will, and because that last touchdown was deflating. Got to be able to fight back from that here moving forward as they get the ball first in the second half.
Well, now Cornelius Ingram wants to have a conversation with the referee, and maybe he's trying to say, hey, we don't want to decline it.
Yeah. He probably was a little confused too. He's like, hey, why are we declining this? Okay.
That'll sneak things a little bit closer. Gillen's in the backfield. Roundtree will get it. Fake it to Gillen's. Little jump pass, and that is a 2-point conversion. Caught by Messiah Gent, the tight end. Went up and got it, and what a drive by Hawthorne as they go all the way down the field. 75 yards in just a minute, and they now lead at 14-7.
Just a sweet drive right there for Hawthorne. Able to really showcased themselves in the passing game. We saw what they've done on the ground and, how they've been really dominant there. But, when their playmakers had to make some plays, they sure enough did it. And this is why they're up 14-7 right now here going into the half.
So just 5 seconds to go until halftime. Ed Johnson's team did a great job of getting down the field, but defensively they could not stop Richard Roundtree and company, and the sophomore quarterback threw several really nice balls, get his team the lead. It looks like we're going to have a new kicker now for Hawthorne, Kevin Golden. We'll put the ball down on a tee. Moore and Wimberly deep for Newberry. I'm not sure you chance kicking it to one of those two guys. So a pooch kick up into the air. That'll be fielded at the 35-yard line as Demetrius DeBose will haul it in. 3.9 seconds to go. So we'll see if Newberry tries to give it one shot here before halftime.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go about 60 yards here, Jeff. 65 yards to be more exact. Not exactly. It didn't put you in the same territory that Hawthorne was, or, it had a nice little bomb down there towards the end. So maybe they run the ball, take a knee, and take it into halftime and regroup.
Old hook and ladder?
It could work.
Maybe the immaculate reception?
But I feel like if you're Hawthorne, that conversation is being had on the sideline over there, that, hey, look out for any trick plays or anything weird that may go on here.
Johnson's just going to get it, run around, let that clock run out, take a knee, and that'll do it for half number one. Well, we knew it was going to be a competitive ball game, back and forth, not a ton of scoring, but Hawthorne, right after Newberry takes the lead, marches down the field with a minute to go before the half, and the visitors lead it as we go to halftime, 14-7 here on Friday Night Rivals. So give a lot of credit to Hawthorne there. And I think a lot of teams, especially at the high school level, Shannon, would have just said, hey, we're going to sit on this ball and we're going to be down one and hope to try to be better in the second half. But that's certainly not the thinking by a guy that's won some state championships in Cornelius Ingram.
Yeah, listen, if I was playing NCAA football at home, I would have probably just kind of waited for halftime and just took it in myself. But they were able to go down and get really big 7 points or 8 points on the board.
All right, speaking of CI, it looks like Randy's ready to have a conversation with him. Hey, Randy.
We talked about earlier in this contest what Richard Roundtree did in the Oakleaf game. Is he your 2-minute quarterback as well, too? He's great in the last couple of minutes of a half in the game, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's special. He's only a sophomore, and some of those throws he made right there at the end of the half was, perfect. Almost seemed like he's a senior, but we have all the confidence in the world for him. And, the guys up front blocked well, and our receivers got open and made some plays.
Talk about that calculated timeout you took when your defense was struggling a little bit. You took the timeout, and after that, their pants were on fire.
Yeah, we just had to settle down. Again, we have a lot of sophomores and freshmen that are starting for the first time, and to see these guys fly around and make plays, I'm super proud, right? We're trusting the process. We know these guys will really be special in 2 and 3 years from now. But I always tell my guys, you don't have to wait till your senior year to be great. So proud of the half. We played. We finished well, but we got a lot to clean up.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
14-7 the tally here at halftime, guys. What an exciting first half of football we saw.
Yeah, Randy, it certainly was, and we'll see what both of these teams talk about, some of the adjustments that'll be made, and we'll find out after we have halftime, where we'll talk to a lot of the great people that make this broadcast possible. You're watching Friday Night Rivals.
Parks Motor Group of Gainesville is proud to present the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Kyler Ingram of Hawthorne Middle High School plays both varsity football and basketball. He's won 2 state championships, one for football in 2023 and one for basketball in 2025. He has also played football on the all-area team. With a 4.2 GPA and a spot on the AB honor roll, Kyler is focused on his education as well. He's on the pre-collegiate track and is certified as both a ServSafe Food Protection Manager and an NSFSP Food Safety Manager. He's also part of the University of Florida's College Reach Out Program, or CROP. Kyler participates in extracurricular groups including Hawthorne's chapter of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and Striving to Achieve Real Success, or STARS. He's the president of both groups. He is also active in the Rotary Club, where he won District 6970's 2025 Rotary Youth Leadership Award for Most Outstanding Leadership. In his free time, Kyler gives back by volunteering at food drives and other community groups, including his local Toys for Tots program, Samaritan's Purse, and Hope for Hawthorne. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Parks Motor Group of Gainesville Scholar Athlete of the Week, Kyler Ingram.
On behalf of Parks Motor Group of Gainesville, congratulations on all of your hard work.
Thank you.
And welcome back to the Pavlov Media Halftime Report. 14-7, the visitors from Hawthorne on top, and their outstanding principal joins us here at the break, the one and only John Green. John, welcome to the Halftime Show.
Thank you for having me.
Let us talk about things that are going on at Hawthorne right now. You guys have to be proud of your academic excellence. I understand everything is on an upswing, is it not?
Yes, sir. We continue to make those gains in that all-important school grade category. You know, we've accumulated the second highest school points in the last 10 years, so we're trying to get done on the field, but more importantly in the classroom.
And you offer so many great programs as well, too. Can you talk about your engineering program?
Yeah, absolutely. We're in our second year of our engineering program, led by Mr. Murray, who is alumni. You know, that's a wonderful thing about Hawthorne. We have a lot of alumni come back and pour back into the community, so he's just continuing that tradition.
And the Ingram effect continues. I know whenever he's at a game, it seems like it's a sellout or close to it. You've got quite a leader there, a guy that's done it in a couple different sports, correct?
Absolutely. That's one thing that the kids admire about him. You know, not only can he preach it, but he's been there, so they follow him and they understand he's not getting on them just to get on them. He's getting on them because he knows what it takes, and they respond well to that.
And now you're Coach Green, not with envy, but the football coach. What do you tell your team at halftime up by a touchdown?
You know, you just got to keep pouring it on. I think we were in a similar situation 2 years ago when we came here, a real tight game. You know, just got to take the top off the second half.
And last year, 28-27 in overtime. That was something, wasn't it?
That was a thriller last year, man. I remember biting my nails on the sideline and just, you know, we came out on top. So we're hoping to have the same thing tonight.
In a couple of minutes, we're going to talk to somebody named Jill Atchley, who's the principal at Newberry. Have you ever met her before?
Yeah, we go back, you know. She's a Panther now, but as we say in Hawthorne land, you know, once a Hornet, always a Hornet. So I know she still bleeds orange and blue. Orange and black. The orange and blue now, though.
She used to be the assistant principal at Hawthorne. Thank you again for your time, John.
I appreciate it. Have a good one.
We'll take a break. 14-7 the tally of this one. You're watching the Pavlov Media Halftime Report.
Parks Motor Group of Gainesville is proud to present the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Luke Bennett of Newberry High School has played varsity football for 3 years, and this year he's the captain of his team. As a Powder Puff coach, he's been undefeated for the past 4 years. He also previously played varsity soccer as a freshman and sophomore. With a 4.59 GPA, Luke's studies are important to him. He's been a member of the National Honor Society, a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and the captain of Newberry's Criminal Justice Program all 4 years of high school. He was also an officer at the Criminal Justice Expo. Luke gives back through volunteer work at school and community events, including volunteering with Toys for Tots for the past 7 years, and at the Watermelon Festival for the past 4 years. He volunteers as a line judge at middle school volleyball games, and he's also involved in his church's youth group. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Parks Motor Group of Gainesville Scholar Athlete of the Week, Luke Bennett.
On behalf of Parks Motor Group of Gainesville, congratulations on all of your hard work.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Pavlov Media Halftime Report. 14-7. The squad from Hawthorne on top of Newberry, but we've got somebody from Newberry that is excited and knows the second half will be even stronger for the Panthers. The one and only principal here at Newberry, and that is Jill Atchley. And Jill, thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You are part of a growing community right now, are you not?
I am. We have about 65 more students than we had last year, so we are busting at the seams. We're excited to have all these new students. Students going into our magnet program with our criminal justice. Our digital infotech program is growing. We've had to add another class of that. So we are really excited to have all the new families coming to our area and being a part of Newberry.
And I'm not dogging it, but you have a K-9 program as well, too, do you not?
We do. Well, we have a new K-9 as part of our criminal justice program. So he's here this evening. He was here earlier. He was getting a little too excited, so he went back to his room to take a nap. But, yeah, we have a new puppy named Cooper, and so he's our new celebrity on campus.
And talk about the transition you made. You went from one sideline to the other. Earlier, John Green alluded to it, but what's it like to know that you have ties to both of these schools?
This is a really exciting first game for me as a principal, and also having a rivalry game against half the sidelines on the other side. So it's really exciting to me. This will be a really great win for me. Right now, I'm glad we're in a good, close game. It's exciting. I know fans on both sides are really happy with that. But this would be a really good win for me.
Well, something else that's going to be exciting is going to happen right now. Andy Starling is going to join us from the IBEW Local 1205. And Andy, I know you are always looking for some new talent, are you not?
Yes, sir. We the electrical careers are growing all the time. We need young men and women like never before. Literally hundreds of thousands of careers across the country before 2030. So always taking applications.
Now, if I'm interested, what should I do?
Look up ET Electrical Training Alliance of Gainesville, and that'll get you right to our apprenticeship program, and you can talk to our apprenticeship directors, and if need be, they can get you over to us in the office if you have more experience and get your electrical career started.
Andy never shows up anywhere empty-handed. In fact, that's not the case again tonight. He has got a special check presentation I know you'd like to make, Andy, correct?
Absolutely. We are representing the men and women of the communities, and we're just glad to give back every chance we get.
So on behalf of the IBEW Local 1205, there's a check for $500 for your proud high school at Newberry.
We're excited to have it. We're going to put good use to it.
Speaking of excitement, the second half excitement on the field is just around the corner. 14-7 the tally at the break. Stick around. You're watching the Pavlov Media Halftime Report right here on My 11.
Bounds Heating and Air is proud to present the Teacher Spotlight of the Week. This week's spotlight shines on Fred Schwartz of Newberry High School. He's been a teacher for 24 years, and 16 of them have been at Newberry. He teaches culinary arts. Mr. Schwartz has been named the Newberry High School Teacher of the Year twice. He also won the Nancy Iafredi Consummate Professional Award for the 2024-2025 school year. Mr. Schwartz's mission in teaching is to be a positive role model to his students while encouraging good values and respect towards others. His favorite thing about teaching is talking to returning students that he inspired to get into the food service or hospitality industries. In his free time, Mr. Schwartz enjoys hunting and fishing. Congratulations, Fred Schwartz. Teacher Spotlight of the Week, proudly brought to you by Bounds Heating and Air. Experience the highest quality of comfort. Bounds Heating and Air.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country.
Sweet wine pump fakes, goes end zone wide open, and one-handed catch. Are you kidding me?
Well, I'll tell you that you're going to watch the defender falls down, and Sheffield still has to make a spectacular grab.
Allen rolling, has time if he wants to run. Rolling has a guy over the middle. It's intercepted right into the hands of Logan Steele, and he's gone. no one will catch the long jump gold medalist and the second in the 100, Logan Steele.
Oh, new running back in the ball game, and he got tattooed and suplex. Speaking of wrestling, that was bad enough right there. And then, bam.
Big number 90, Maurice Horry right there. He got his money.
Wolf fires downfield. He has a man, but lobs it up. It's a 50-50 ball, and it's picked off by Manheim Township. Coming up and making the interception is Dixon. It was a 50-50 ball, and Dixon comes up and has the INT. Dixon, the 5.
Does it get off? Ready, go. Off the line of scrimmage. Look at the speed, the quickness. Good recovery there. Gets it back over to the sideline. Excellent execution for Champ.
Coach of the Panthers, Ed Johnson. Coach, first of all, an update on DeBose. What's his situation right now?
He's doing well, man. He has feeling in all his limbs, and he's in a great spirit. So we're gonna keep him in our prayers, and hope he gets back out here with us soon.
What'd you tell the team? Because you found your elixir again near the end of that first half.
We got to play better, man. That's a really good team. They're well coached. We can't make mistakes, right? You get the opportunity to make a play, you got to make it. You got to do it for 48 minutes. So we got 24 left, and hopefully we can figure it out.
And finally, what do you think of the quarterback?
He's doing okay. He's got to do better, right? He's got to get us a win. But he's doing good so far, so we got to keep it going.
He's got good bloodlines, right?
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Coach, thanks for your time. Yes, Jeff, back upstairs to you.
All right, Randy, thank you very much. So, you can't even be hard on your own kid, Shannon. That's what it's all about. But I think that's the way it is. Dads are supposed to be that way, but he's obviously a head coach too, and I think he knows not only his son at the quarterback position, but everybody else on that team needs to play a little bit better because they're playing a really darn good team on the other side in Hawthorne.
And you saw him right there, number 4, Hayden Moore. The ball hasn't, other than maybe like a little quarterback jet that they gave it to him, hasn't really been involved in this football game. And give credit to Hawthorne about taking the playmakers out, of the game for Newberry. So we got to see what Coach Ed Johnson did. And halftime adjustments, Jeff, I love them, I believe in them, and I believe the better team, especially in a close game like this, the team that makes the best halftime adjustments will win the football game. That's always been just the pure adage of what you do because it's like a chess match. First half, everybody's moving pieces around until you finally decide that, hey, what's the best way to get that queen, that king in checkmate. So let's see if Coach Ed Johnson or Coach Cornelius Ingram has made the appropriate halftime changes and see what the outcome of this football game is going to be.
And for those of you that didn't tune in right at the beginning, you saw the UF Health tent there, the orthopedics and sports medicine. We had an injury down on the field. Harry DeBose, who is actually committed to Northern Illinois, so really a big-time player on this defense. He went down. They had to put him on the stretcher, and then ambulance came and brought him away. So really good to hear Coach Johnson say that all the movement and all the limbs and everything else, so should be okay. And again, just a great job by UF Health athletic trainers. Everything was so seamless down there, went very smooth. They got to him in a hurry, and they were right there on top of him, making sure everything was going to be good. So hopefully a lot of precautionary stuff there in the process, but really nice to hear Ed Johnson say that.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. I mean, as you said earlier, there's so many great trainers down on the field, and they do such a great job of, and hopefully what we saw there is that it was a precautionary, taking him to the hospital, making sure he's good, but hopefully he's back with his team soon and playing some more football.
All right, so here we go for half number 2. Short kick and a nice return, breaking a couple of tackles, and then a little extra with some extracurricular activity. Hayden Moore is hit out of bounds, and that penalty should push Newberry across midfield.
Yeah, Sid hit Hicks over there on that sideline there, and looked like a late hit. And sure enough, when that fracas starts happening over there, you got to get away from it, because when those yellow flags start flying, you're costing your team.
Well, a lot of penalties in the first half, and we get started with another one already to see. They're actually going to call it a hold.
Wow.
Here on Newberry.
How could you?
Well, and now the officials are going back at it, and now calling the personal foul going back the other way. So looks like we've got offsetting penalties, but as they sort all that out, Let's go back down to Randy, who's got a guy that knows a thing or two about the Hawthorne head coach.
Yeah, I think so. They ate a lot of meals together, obviously, and I look up to this guy in more ways than one. CJ, talk about the transition to college. What's it been like for you?
It's been super exciting. Just a little adjustment, with practice. The speed of the games got a little faster, but, I've been able to be in the weight room, stay on the court, just staying in the gym, to be able to develop my game and, get ready for the pace of the college and the SEC.
Do you feel like you've been hitting gold? Because, state championships in high school, you go to a program that wins a national championship. Do you pinch yourself sometimes?
Nah, not really. I just got to give all the glory to God. He's been blessing me my whole life, so there's no point to second guess it right now.
What about this guy that plays outside linebacker? What do you think of this guy wearing number 10?
Well, I ain't gonna say that, but heck of a player. I know how he is. I know how he's built mentally because being with me and my dad, I know how we are. Super competitive, but talk about a kid that does the right thing on and off the field. Super smart, super aggressive. And as we can see, he's making plays tonight, and I'm super proud of him.
If you were still out there, could you beat him at the corner?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, thank you so much for your time. God bless you. Best of luck this season with the Gators.
Thank you.
Guys, back upstairs to you.
All right, Randy, thank you very much. So the offsetting penalties, we're actually going to have a redo on our Sky Frog tree service kickoff. Sky Frog, stay motivated. And, yeah, that whole Ingram family certainly has been motivated forever. What Cornelius was able to do, not only in high school at Hawthorne, but then at the University of Florida, and then playing professional football. Of course, a big injury kind of derailed the opportunities that he had. But CJ moving right along in his footsteps. He stopped playing football a couple of years ago so he could concentrate on basketball, and I would say that's a pretty good decision, as much better coverage by Hawthorne that time, as Wimberley can only get out to about the 25-yard line. But yeah, C.J. Ingram, a guy that a couple years ago was a quarterback on this team, and then decided not to play, ended up transferring down to Mount Verde, and that's where Cooper Flagg went. So for those of you that know about the NBA and Cooper Flagg and all that, and Duke, certainly that's a pretty darn good prep school that C.J. played at.
It is. They got him prepared for it, and it just shows how ultra athletic that family is. C.I. was just a great football and basketball player himself. His son C.J. is doing a great job at, and obviously got himself earned himself a scholarship to the defending national title holders in the University of Florida Gators. And then, you got Kyler Ingram, who we called his name multiple times tonight, just making plays out there. So you got to be proud if you're Coach Cornelius Ingram of watching your boys play and walking in your footsteps, and son, in a certain fashion or sense that he's CJ's doing pretty good for himself, right?
Yeah.
He's, it's really fun to watch, and you always want your kids to do better than you in anything that you do. And I think CI is really proud of his kids here.
And what he's done for this community, coming back to be a part of this, and the state championships, not only with football but basketball, and the women's program there is really, really good as well.
Just unbelievable down in Hawthorne how he's been able to be such a light in that program, and they really, really rally around each other down there. It's a really fun environment and a fun community down there in Hawthorne.
Well, a couple of wildcat runs by Moore and then now Woods, and neither of them able to have a lot of success. So early on here, Ed Johnson and maybe some of the adjustments made not to have Kobe out there, see if they can do something with those playmakers, but Hawthorne up to the challenge.
Yeah, a little not exactly what you wanted coming out of the half of your coach Ed Johnson, and he said, listen, we got to play better. And he gave them a challenge and said, listen, this is a good football team. They're well coached. You guys have to come out and play well against this team, or they're going to run you off the field. And sure enough, it's 3rd down and 10, and they need some life right here.
Oh, Woods, Moore, and Wimberley all back there as they try to do it again. And there's Kyler Ingram amongst a couple of other guys in on the pursuit. Messiah Gent in there as well. So 3 wildcat plays and negative yardage there for Newberry, as they don't do anything with their first possession of the second half.
Yeah, that felt like just kind of a dry drive right there. Like, you got this wildcat thing going. And listen, I get it. You're trying to get Hayden Moore involved in the offense, but they've done a really good job tonight of highlighting him, of shadowing him with a couple of different guys. So it's not going to work. You got to go to your playmakers. You got to go to the guys, some other guys that may be able to get some plays done for you.
So Caden Bush back to punt. A couple of guys deep for Hawthorne. Bush will get it off. Nice kick, fielded right at midfield. That is Darian Bowie. And a nice 10-yard return right back up the middle. And that's the right thing to do. Just get it and go. We see a lot of guys, especially at this level, dance around, and he just stuck his foot in the ground and got 10 yards because of it.
Yeah, good coaching right there, and get what you can out of that. Not every punt return or run or pass is going to go for 80 yards. This isn't a video game, right? You get what you can get because sometimes that's the best play. That's the biggest play that you can make out of it.
So great field position here for Hawthorne. They lead it by 7. Their first possession here in quarter number 3.
I'm curious to see what they look like after that really beautiful, just absolute beautiful drive that they had at the last onset of the second quarter. Let's see what this offense looks like. Let's see what kind of halftime adjustments they made and see if they go back to running the football.
Gillens was the workhorse early on. He's in the backfield. He'll get it to start off the drive. Trying to be patient, but nice job there by the Newberry pursuit. That's both Isaiah Johnson and Devin Rim in on the tackle.
And that's probably one of the first times tonight, Jeff, that we've seen Newberry hold up at the point of attack. Hawthorne's done a great job between the guards of opening up big holes and getting nice running lanes right there. And, of course, we see number 25 right there, Derek Gillens, having that night that he's had. But really nice job by that Newberry front of finally stopping him on for a very minimal gain.
Hawthorne's been running 4 wide all night. We've even seen 5 wide on the touchdown pass from Roundtree right before halftime. Roundtree get the shotgun snap. Looking around to his right, now some room up the middle. He finds a wide open receiver and a nice catch by Dominic Harvey. And that's a big gain almost inside the red zone.
It's almost like the Lamar Jackson theory, right? If I were to kind of equate it to something, is that you got a quarterback that has the ability to take off and run and really take you apart, but then he has the arm to really throw it on the run and put it into really good spots for his receivers to catch it. It's hard as a defense to defend that. It's hard to really kind of clamp down on that because there's so many different options. So really nice job right there by Roundtree making that happen right there for that first down.
Oh, great job of keeping his eyes down the field, knowing where the line of scrimmage was. They'll give it to Gillens. It was about this spot the last time where he just ran through the entire Newberry defense to get into the end zone. Good strong run there of about 8 on first down.
And this is what the Hawthorne offensive line, that offensive play calling does in the second half, is that they took the wind out of your sails in the first half, especially with that last drive, but now they're running the football. They're keeping these long drives going, and the key to the game for Newberry was to get them off the field, right? But now this is a little bit of an extended drive. You're deep into the second half. A couple guys got their hands on their hips. They're like, man, this is kind of a demoralizing feeling, Jeff. So you got to find a way to limit the points or to get them maybe force a turnover so that they don't go up 2 touchdowns on you here in the third quarter.
So Hawthorne now in the Call-A-Mattress red zone. Call-A-Mattress deals so hot they built a fire station across the street. Roundtree takes a shotgun snap, hands it off. Gillens again, and he lost the football. And looks like Newberry's got a fight to the ground, and we'll see who comes up with it. Well, that's a great job by Hawthorne. Darian Bowie looked like he pulled it out of nowhere.
How does that happen? This was Newberry's ball. It feels like every part of it. There was 2 guys around, and we talked about the fumble, right? The turnover, fortunate turnover. And there's one thing I'm going to say because I need to throw it out there. Listen, if you're a Newberry defender and that ball's on the ground, don't jog towards the damn ball. Run towards it, all right? Try to pull guys off of it. That is a free ball right there, a shot for your opportunity to get your offense back on the field.
Oh, great job of punching it out by the Newberry defense, and big loss on the play. So that'll make it 3rd and 13 now. An empty backfield, 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right for Roundtree. And it looks like a timeout has been called, and it will be by Hawthorne, their first here in the third quarter.
And Jeff, this somewhat feels like 4-down territory just due to the kicking game struggles of Hawthorne. So let's expect if they don't make it on 3rd down here, they're going to probably go for it on 4th.
All right, we'll find out what they do when we come back. You're watching IBEW's local 1205 Friday Night Rivals. Well, during the fourth quarter of the game tonight, we'll be selecting the IBEW Local 1205 Player of the Game, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 1205, powering a brighter future. Right now, Richard Roundtree might be in the running for that. There you see the quarterback on the other side, Kobe Johnson. Johnson chomping at the bit, wanting to get back out there. We'll see if his Newberry defensive teammates can get the ball back. 3rd and 12 here for Hawthorne after they just recovered a fumble. Again, 5 receivers for Hawthorne, 3 to the right this time. Roundtree looks out to the left. Low throw, though, and it can't be scooped up. So that's going to make it 4th down. So, Shannon, that's what they were doing. They were just going for the quick hitter, try to get some back, make it 4th and manageable.
Yeah, I mean, get it out there to one of your playmakers, see if you can turn it up and get a big first down right there. But you know, they have to. That's just kind of what we expected, Jeff. Just for them to try to go for it, try to go 4 downs here, right, and not kicking that as a long field goal. So good try at it, but not so much what you really wanted.
So 4th and 12 here for Hawthorne, but make it a little further, as a false start is going to back them up 5 more yards.
I mean, we know Roundtree has the arm to get them into the end zone. So you got to be aware if you're Newberry that, hey, that quick slant that happened in the middle that got them big yards towards the end of the half or something along those lines could make it happen. But at this point in time, you got to play some sort of a little bit of a prevent defense and protect the sticks. Coach Ingram not punting this thing away. He's content on going for it. So if you're Newberry, this is big right here. You can't give them the first down.
Yeah, just go to the part of the playbook for 4th and 17.
Is that a thing?
I mean, not sure there's many of those in there.
I got to go get the dummies playbook to call in offensive plays here.
All right, we'll see what they do. Roundtree looking to his left. Got an open receiver, but immediately on the stop, he is brought down. Demetrius DeBose, they're out in coverage, and Hawthorne's going to turn it over on down. So good job by that Newberry defense. The bend but don't break.
Yeah, nice job by DeBose of knowing what the situation is. A lot of times you want to come up and try to make a pick six or do something. He could easily miss that tackle. He could easily overrun that ball, and you know they turn that play up and get a touchdown or a big gain or get a first down. So nice play, nice job knowing the situation.
So time for a water break here in Newberry. 5:44 to go here in quarter number 3, with the Hawthorne Hornets leading Newberry tonight 14-7 on IBEW Local 1205's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Radiant Credit Union. Back with more, and Newberry getting the ball right after this. Well, during the fourth quarter of the game tonight, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Paid for by NHTSA. See the school bus that brought Hawthorne over here tonight. Not too bad of a drive through the great back roads of surrounding Gainesville. All right, here goes Newberry. We'll see what they can do as they get things started. A handoff to Caleb Woods up the middle. He only gets a couple. And Newberry has only run 4 plays now here in the second half. They tried 3 Wildcats on that first possession, Shannon, with really nothing to show for it. But it doesn't seem like Ed Johnson's trying to open up the offense yet.
Yeah, it's a little weird because we talked about it on the first couple of drives of the game that they were having a lot of success throwing the ball through the air. But we haven't really seen Kobe Johnson being able to chuck it around anymore. He makes you wonder if he's hurt or something. It's just, you got to open this offense up because the run game just isn't working for him right now.
They'll hand it off again, and the run game not working again. Moore got another carry, but nice job by Messiah Gent. And also Lanakai Jackson, linebacker, in there on the stop.
It feels like this Newberry offense is like a hamster running a hamster wheel, right? They're just turning their wheels and going through the motions, but you don't really see any explosive plays. You don't see anything that's, really even threatening these safeties from getting out of the box or opening this defense up a little bit. Coach Ed Johnson has figured something else is coming here.
There's the throw, but it'll cross the field. That's a long throw, and Nathan Jennings, cornerback, able to knock it down.
But you see what I'm talking about right there. Just a quick little comeback where you didn't really even threaten the cornerback to come off of his post any. You jumped that as just as much as the wide receiver did, and that's just another 3 and out. Just wasn't really well thought out in my opinion, and just gave Hawthorne a really easy 3 and out to turn the ball back over and give them the opportunity to score more points.
So Bush, freshman, back to punt again. He'll get it off, and that one will be picked up right at midfield. Good tackle as Elijah Beckford gets in there to make the stop. But back-to-back possessions now where Hawthorne's going to have it on the Newberry side of the field.
Yeah, and they've had it for maybe, a total of 2 minutes, Newberry's offense. So you're putting your defense back in bad positioning. And here's the thing is you're going to get another just a steady dose of Derek Gillens in this offensive line, which have started to run the ball a little bit successfully here, able to stop them on that last drive. But now you're not even giving them, they're past half field. They're past the halfway mark, if you will. So if you're Newberry, offensively, the play calling's got to be better. Got to be able to put your guys in a better situation, at the very least, just to give your defense a little bit of a break. You can see Roundtree right there having a really good night, but hasn't been under stress a whole lot. Coach Cornelius Ingram has put him in a lot of good positions, so we'll see if that continues.
Roundtree in the shotgun. He'll fake the handoff, now try to go deep. He's got a man wide open, and that is caught Willie Mays style, brought down at the 1-yard line. Dominic Harvey looking back up over his shoulder, hauls it in.
What a hell of a catch right there. I mean, he couldn't even see that. You got the lights up there. You got all sorts of things. You got a defender that's going to almost be draped over your shoulder, and Harvey just runs under that beautifully and pulls that ball in. Just another great pass right there by Richard Roundtree, who was under pressure as well. Look at that. Just look over his head and being able to track it back to the outside. Just fantastic catch right there.
Yeah, there's been a couple of Major League Baseball players, why I referenced Willie Mays there as it was happening. Jim Edmonds made a really nice catch like that, and so there's certainly some big things happening. Let's quickly send it down to Randy before we get our next play.
Dominic Harvey, interesting story. It's almost like the Ingram family effect. His father is Derek Harvey, who was indeed the college roommate of Coach Ingram at Florida. Back to you.
Yeah, big time. Derek Harvey was that type of player, and Richard Roundtree is that guy tonight. Just an easy 1-yard run. He quickly gets into the end zone, and just like that, a 2-score ball game here in Newberry.
Yeah, that was just way too easy, and fantastic job by Roundtree of really making it happen on that drive, dropping the dime over top of the head, and then taking it in for 1 yard for the touchdown. But this is more of a Newberry problem, right? You see these defenders starting to wear down a little bit. They've been on the field, Jeff, for pretty much the entire half here, and you got to be a little bit more imaginative on this play calling when you're Newberry, because of the very fact is that now you're down 2 scores, and you're going up against a defense that's willing to pin their ears back and come after you.
Nathan Jennings in for the extra point. That one is blocked, and the kicking struggles continue for Hawthorne here tonight.
Yeah, you feel like that's going to come back and bite them in the butt, maybe here tonight, but that's got to get fixed.
All right, time to raise the roof with Mission Metals. Mission Metals, your trusted hometown metal roofing and metal building supplier, right here on Friday Night Rivals. Well, yeah, Hawthorne certainly has all the pieces. It's almost like they need to. There's been a couple of movies over the years, Shannon. Remember they'll go to the soccer team and get a kicker or something, or maybe to the golf team. Go find somebody. There's got to be somebody on campus that try to boot it through the uprights.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the best way to do it, right? To go to the soccer team,
yeah, and
to find somebody that says, hey, what about the replacements? You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, find yourself like a drunk guy or like an Australian and give them a cigarette and a beer and see if you can kick it through the uprights. I mean, they got to figure out something, right? Because I do think with Hawthorne, as talented as they are, it's going to come down to the kicking game, whether it be tonight or whether it be sometime in subsequent weeks, is that they're going to have to make a field goal. And tonight is just it's kind of a glimpse that they're not doing so well in that part of their special teams game.
Oh, time for another Sky Frog tree service kickoff. Sky Frog, stay motivated. Kevin Golden will handle the kickoff duties here. Here's Keandre Williams on the return, weaving, bobbing, and getting up past the 35-yard line to about the 36, where Newberry's going to take over. Only 6 offensive plays for Newberry here in 2 possessions of the second half. 5 runs and 1 pass that was all the way across the field and never really had an opportunity. So we'll see what Newberry can come up with here.
Yeah, we'll see what this looks like, right? They're going to have to throw the ball. They're going to have to drop back and do some stuff. And you hated to see it get to this point to where now it's necessary that you have to open up the offense. You would hope that between what they've done in the first couple of drives of this football game that we see some more, some more stuff, but we haven't as of yet.
Well, we've got another penalty on Hawthorne. This is the 3rd different time we've had a 15-yard penalty go against Hawthorne on a kickoff.
Yeah, another unsportsmanlike conduct. Guys got to control themselves. And as you see Coach Cornelius Ingram going after his guys, that's not one thing he stands for. I know that man pretty well. And he teaches his guys that you need a level of discipline to be successful on a football team. And was letting somebody have it over there.
That pushes Newberry across midfield. So a good field position to start this drive. We'll see if they can do something with it. Nice handoff. Woods to the outside. Positive yardage there as he gets around the right guard for about 5.
And while that's a good run, Jeff, we need to see something else, right? We want to see some play action. There's a lot of stuff that you can't just keep running Caleb Woods up the middle. You can't just, have Hayden Moore running on these Wildcat plays. You got to give these guys some options, throw up some 50-50 balls maybe, and give them the opportunity to make a big play, get yourself caught up pretty quickly.
Isaiah Allen runs a play in. He'll be one of the 3 guys on the left side of the Trips receivers. He'll send Javion Long out long. And now another handoff right up the gut and nowhere to go for Caleb Woods.
So I think we're all seeing the same thing. Anybody watching at home and Jeff and I watching in the booths up here is that we've seen multiple draw plays here, right? And maybe it goes back to say, hey, is Kobe Johnson, is he nursing an injury? Does Coach Johnson not want him to throw the ball around a little bit? We've just seen almost too many runs here to where you're running into the teeth of this Hawthorne defense.
So 3rd and a long 4. Caleb Woods in the backfield. Johnson bobbles the snaps, and now he's got to scramble. He'll try to get it himself, and he's got nowhere to go. Big stick by the Hawthorne cornerback, and looks like he might be down. Hopefully they can pull him up. They do.
I mean, it was fair game. You see Kyler Ingram coming up there, and it's just you got to be able to. Yeah, he took a monster shot right there, but there goes that same thing that we've seen earlier from Newberry is that they're dropping snaps and things are happening, and just not a really good offensive game plan going for them right now against this what's a really good defense.
Johnson able to get it back to almost the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1 on the play, but that's going to make it 4th and 6 now. And a huge play in this ball game. Johnson won't be out there. They'll have both Woods and Moore. And a timeout called once again by Ed Johnson. So let's give a big shout out to Bounds Heating and Air. Experience high quality, especially this time of year, Shannon. Air conditioning You know, they do an absolutely tremendous job. The office only about a mile from here, down in downtown Newberry. Robert Bounds and the rest of the crew have been doing it in Newberry for a really long time, servicing North Central Florida.
Not only have they been doing such a great job and much trusted, especially with your AC, right? You don't want it breaking down, but if it does, they're always Johnny on the spot. So big shout out to them and thank you for all your service to what you guys do for the community.
So during the summer months, if something goes wrong, call Bounds. Simple as that. All right, let's hope it's not a simple play for Newberry here. They need to do some damage. They're down 13 with only 42 seconds to go here in quarter number 3. They'll continue to not have Kobe Johnson on the field. It'll be both Caleb Woods and Hayden Moore back there.
And you kind of know what's coming here, right? If I'm Hawthorne, I'm selling out on the run. I'm following, Hayden Moore across wherever he goes, right? Unless, let him uncork a pass. If that's what it's going to be, then that's just what it's going to be.
Well, now Newberry is forced to take one of their offensive linemen off the field, and they'll bring in one of the backup offensive linemen here, Keandrick Boykin. So big 4th and 6. It's going to be Moore, and Moore has some room, but he slides, and he's going to be well short of the line to gain. I think Moore just lost where he was supposed to be on the field, and that wasn't even close. And Hawthorne's going to take over.
What? Okay. That just, wow. Yeah, like you, as a football player, as a skilled position football player, you got to know where you're at on the field. You got to know the down and distance, and sliding as a wide receiver, not even as a quarterback, you can't do that. You got to take that hit and keep it going, regardless of where you think you are on the football field. I don't care if that was the first down or not. You got to take that hit and try to get past that first down line. Obviously, not expecting, didn't even know where that was, and that cost them on downs.
So 34 seconds remain here in quarter number 3, and Hawthorne's got a chance to increase their 13-point lead. Roundtree back to work. Gillens to his right. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. And they'll hand it off to the big fella, and not much where he can go. Devon Rim in there on the tackle, and good pursuit again by the defensive end, Luke Bennett. We mentioned his name a few times.
We have Luke doing a nice job coming down the line and making a tackle. You can see that they're starting to play a little bit better at the point of attack, but hey, listen, if you're Hawthorne, you're going to run this clock out going into the 4th quarter. But if you're Hawthorne, you can just start to slow this thing down. You're head 2 scores. Just open up this offense and take as much time as possible off headed here into the 4th quarter.
So the clock ticks down to 0, and a bunch of 4s will go up on the fingers of both of these sidelines. That indicates it is quarter number 4, and right now the visitors all over the home team tonight. Hawthorne leading it 20-7 over Newberry. We'll take a break and come back and see how this thing wraps up on IBEW's local 1205 Friday Night Rivals.
This is the School Bus Stop of the Game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
Had some big hits tonight, but Shannon, this one was a pretty big play as Newberry tried to get into the end zone.
Yeah, Dominic Harvey right there, able to really break that up and get their hands on it. Almost picked that thing off and took it back the opposite way. But this Hawthorne defense has been special all night long. Just done an excellent job of really making things happen. So nice job to them.
This is the School Bus Stop of the Game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
So there is your NHTSA stop of the game, and Harvey's been a nice factor on offense and defense. So Hawthorne takes over on offense again. Quick little toss and a nice little sprint to the outside. We're finally cutting back in. That's a gain of 4. And that'll make it 3rd and short.
Yeah, I'm going to give the Newberry defense some credit here because they're still fighting hard and able to stop what a majority of what they're doing here in the second half. But offense got to do them some service, right? They've been out there for most of the second half. Matter of fact, majority of the third quarter, and now that they're tired, you can see the guys have their hands on their hips. They just came out of a timeout, right? Just started the fourth quarter, but this in typical Hawthorne fashion, they're going to wear you down. They're going to lean on you here in the run game here over the course of the next 11 minutes.
So big third down here for the Newberry defense as Hawthorne wants the clock to keep going. Roundtree quickly gets it to the outside. It's deflected and then caught. That's a nice job of not getting distracted by Dakari Wiggins, who hauls it in, sophomore wide receiver. And now an interesting decision here on fourth down and about 3.
Yes. At this point, it's like, why punt it away? I mean, I feel like they have the ability, the athletes, and their offensive line has played well tonight. Just run the ball up the middle and see if they can get 3 yards. They played great defense there, Jeff. So I don't think there's nothing to be really afraid of, especially being ahead 2 scores. So why not go for it on third down? Go for it on fourth down just to get 3 yards here.
So Roundtree gets up to the ball under center. We have not seen that a lot tonight from the Hawthorne offense.
Now, we have seen that toss come out of there, so are we going to see this toss reverse into something into the flat or make them jump offside?
How about that?
How about it?
So great job on the hard count, and it'll be offsides by Newberry, and the drive does, in fact, stay alive there on fourth down.
I mean, wow. Great play call right there. Haven't seen it tonight. And this is what happens as a defense when you get really tired. You quit thinking about assignments, and assignment meaning staying on sides on a hard count. Not expected, especially hasn't happened all night, and that's what happens. Free 5 yards and a free first down for Hawthorne.
And that should eat up at least a few more minutes off the clock with a UF Health Ortho Care first down, where walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week. Gillen's in the backfield. They'll fake it to him. Roundtree trying to throw it deep down the field into double coverage, and there's going to be a flag. Seen a lot of those yellow things come out tonight. Throw was a little bit underthrown to Dakari Wiggins as there was some pressure, and it looked like Roundtree got hit. He's a little shaken up as he heads over to the sideline. Might have got hit on the hand there.
Yeah, he did. It looks like he hit it on somebody's helmet. Might have been his own guy's helmet, but still able to fire that ball down there and got an extra 15. Got a free 15 yards, and the penalties are starting to stack up on Newberry, especially defensively. A lot of things starting to happen. These 15-yard variety penalties are just not exactly what they need right now, is extending these drives, and sure enough, it's putting Hawthorne in a much more successful position to score another touchdown.
And Roundtree is really hurt. He's now off the field, and he's on the ground. A couple of the UF Health athletic trainers over there tending to him, so it's certainly something you'll have to monitor, as Hawthorne will have Nathan Jennings back out there at quarterback, running the Wildcat. Tries to get to the outside, cuts back in, loses a football, and Newberry has it. So how about that? Roundtree goes out of the game, and immediately Jennings drops the football to allow Newberry to take over.
Yeah, you talk about something that you needed. Now, who knew that injury would be such a big deal at this point in time? Because, and listen, Jeff, nothing changes here. Nothing changes on script if you're Newberry or if you're Hawthorne. Hawthorne, you got to play good defense. You know you're going to have to come back out there. But if you're Newberry, you got to get innovative. Something's got to happen. You got to open up this offense, because the same thing, these draws and stuff, you basically have put yourself on a red clock, meaning that you don't have a lot of time left. You need to make some plays and get this ball moving on offense.
Linebacker Isaiah Johnson causing the fumble there, as Jennings didn't really protect the football. So Newberry takes back over. Kobe Johnson in the shotgun with Woods to his left hip. They'll hand it to him, and Woods trying to get up the middle. Not really much room to do anything, as several white jerseys are there, led by Ingram and also Elijah Beckford.
So once again, it's the same. You got now, Kobe. You got Caleb Woods like limping around now, because you've handed the ball up the middle time after time after time after time again, and it just really leads me to believe that something's maybe wrong with Kobe Johnson's arm or leg or something, that they're not allowing him to throw the ball around a whole lot.
Down 2 scores, under 10 minutes to play in the game. Johnson gets it. He'll look to pass this time. Well, he's trying to throw it deep down the field. Flag comes down as his intended receiver, Keandre Williams, was driven out of bounds, but looked like we're going to get some pass interference or some type of hold.
Looks exactly what it is. And it looks like Keandre Williams had him burn off the line, had the cornerback burn off the line, so it had to hold there, so probably a good penalty, but it's still going to give an automatic first down here.
Well, it looks like Roundtree is up moving around on the sidelines. He is trying to stretch. They're calling it a midsection injury, Shannon. And I think we know what that is.
I have so many names for it. But, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Got hit in the wrong spot.
Yeah, he did.
Are cups much of a thing in football?
Not anymore. I mean, it was a back in the day thing where and they didn't do a lot of – oh, boy. Goodness gracious.
Johnson threw it over the middle. Kevin Golden almost had a pick six, so he's got to go down and do some push-ups knowing that he just blew an opportunity to put 6 more on the board.
Yeah,
that might be one of the easiest balls you'll ever get to try to pick off.
Let me tell you what right there. Number 31, Kevin Golden, picks that ball off. He's hitting his head on the goalpost. I mean, he's still running. Nobody's catching him. That was going to eat away at him tomorrow in film or on Monday morning in film session.
Golden, another one of those sensational sophomores that Cornelius has on this Hawthorne defense. So 2nd and 10. Johnson looking around, trying to scramble out of some pressure, and he's brought down. Good sack there by Drayson Martin. Another sophomore, 6'3", 250-pounder.
I'll tell you what, Martin's had a really good night tonight. Made a bunch of tackles, has put on some pressure when allotted, and had a really good night tonight, and that's his first sack, and fantastic job by him.
Loss of 2 on the play, so 3rd and 12 now for Newberry, who has not been able to generate any type of offense here in the second half. Johnson has it. He'll get it out. And that is going to be enough for a first down. Good move on the reception by Javion Wong. He got it about 4 yards short of the yard to gain, and one little juke all the way to the first down yardage, and that is a GFL first down. Green today, green for life.
Yeah, Javion Wong, really good player. That first touchdown that he had, able to shrug off a couple guys for that slant, that touchdown, and did a nice job with the sidestep and getting that first down here.
And that really continues to be the only way Newberry can do some offense. It's Johnson scrambling around and trying to find receivers down the field. He'll quickly try to get it out, and a flag there as a quick slant was negated by Nathan Jennings, but he ran into the receiver before getting to the football.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Jeff, they're moving fast, right? They're becoming a little bit more efficient here. I would have loved to see this out of Newberry two drives ago, but hey, never too late, right? 7 minutes and 41 seconds left in this fourth quarter, so they still have a chance here, right? But they got to get this ball into the end zone, got to get some points now, and get their defense back on the field, maybe to force a turnover or to force a 3 and out.
So big penalty will get Newberry all the way inside the 30-yard line. Down by 13 with 7.5 minutes to go in this one. Low snap. Johnson's pass. That one is going to be picked off this time. That's Lanakai Jackson, the linebacker, just drifting back into coverage. He stepped right into the throwing lane, and a big turnover there by Hawthorne.
Yeah, and you could see it all day on Sunday. Kobe Johnson just kind of stared his receiver down. They saw that slant play coming, and listen, it wasn't route running and those kind of things. You got to be a little bit more innovative with that, or they're going to find a way to pick those things off.
Flag comes down on the field, and we'll have to tell you about it when we come back, as Hawthorne with another big stop on defense. They've only allowed 7 points tonight. and they lead it by 13 here on Friday Night Rivals. We welcome you back to Friday Night Rivals alongside Shannon Snell, Jeff Cardozo back here with you. Randy Reinhardt down on the sidelines, and another tremendous crew bringing you all the action tonight. We've got Brad and Sophie on the cameras right below us.
Sophie.
Smart that they don't turn it around. If they turn it around, everybody would be scared.
Yeah, they
keep it down there on the field, folks.
I'd definitely break the camera for sure. They have to go through a couple lenses with me during the open. So
Dustin, our director, doing a mighty fine job, and Ben does it all, running around here, making sure we sound good and everything is going smooth. Been a smooth second half for Hawthorne. Richard Roundtree's been really, really good. He'll take over the offense once again as Derek Gillens, sophomore tailback, will get the ball to get things going. And he'll get through about 3 guys and gain a couple of yards there on first down. I think at this point, Shannon, and one, it's good to see Roundtree back in there after getting hit in the midsection, but it's going to be probably a lot of big old number 25 as they try to run this clock out.
Yeah, I'm running them 3 times up the middle, and I get what I get. And, you know, not a whole lot. Roundtree got, you know, banged up a couple times in this football game, but you're going to need him for the rest of the season. So maybe it's a thought of mine, while not completely in hand, that you do everything you can to protect him here moving forward.
Still 4 wide for Hawthorne. Gillens 5'8", 225 pounds. They'll fake it to him. Quick little toss out to the left side, and some room to run for Darian Bowie. Down the sideline he goes, 20, 10, 5, all
good.
The way to the end zone.
Gracious.
How about that move?
I didn't see that coming. I knew he had some speed, but he just walked everybody. He walked away from everybody, and that's what happens, right? We talked about the speed and the athleticism of what Hawthorne is and who they are. And sure enough, right there, Darren Bowie, who has been at liberty to take one of those to the house tonight, has finally did it and made the Newberry Panthers pay.
And how about the block there by Nathan Jennings? Just a well-executed play. That was what he was supposed to do, come around the outside. Jennings to pick up the guy that's trying to tackle him. And then Bowie just outran everybody down the sideline, and the senior gets into the end zone, and extra point pending. It is a big lead for Hawthorne.
He just blew the doors off. That's impressive play right there.
That's a Radiant Credit Union touchdown, and another failed extra point attempt by Hawthorne. So they score and make it 26-7 with just over 6 minutes to go. There's the guy that got into the end zone, the senior, 5'9", 175-pounder Darian Bowie. So big lead for the Hawthorne Hornets. We'll come back after this timeout and see how this thing wraps up here on Friday Night Rivals. We welcome you back to IBEW's Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals. A lot of smiles on that Hawthorne sideline, and a lot of good things happening for that dude, number 5, Richard Roundtree. It was really nice getting a glimpse of him because he was an unknown. This was a guy that transferred into the Hawthorne area last year because he wanted to learn under Cornelius Ingram and be a part of that offense. And little did he know he'd have to be thrown into the fire pretty quickly, but that grew him up quickly. And now, Shannon, we've talked a lot about that jump from year 1 to year 2, and Richard Roundtree looks like a dude.
He does look like a dude. He looks like a dude that belongs at Hawthorne. And Hawthorne's always been known to carry a guy that can run and gun. We talked about C.J. Ingram. We talked about some of the guys in the past that have been really good for this football team and has been kind of like the leader and the fire starter, if you will. And Roundtree's no exception to it. He's done a great job tonight. At the end of the second half where he threw that absolute dime, he's got a touchdown run and had a second touchdown pass here, right here. You can thank Darian Bowie for. So he's been great tonight, and he's been once again a big reason why they're ahead there as they are right now.
Another Sky Frog Tree Service kickoff. Sky Frog, stay motivated. High kick that'll sail to about the 20-yard line. Keandre Williams on the return, and he's got a nice one, about 18 yards before finally being driven down by Dakari Wiggins. And that's where Newberry will take over. Just over 6 minutes to go.
And this is what happens with Hawthorne. Think about this real quick. Now, Newberry hasn't done them any favors, right? Running tons of draws up the middle and not having a whole lot of imagination on offense, but Newberry hasn't scored any points since the second quarter. And this is what Hawthorne does. When they make these halftime adjustments, especially on defense, you can go back for years, Jeff, and we've covered them plenty of times, that they just get better in that second half. It's like they go in and take that, that Bugs Bunny serum that he took at halftime of the Space Jam. They take that and they come out even better, and that's what's happened here tonight. And this defense is another big reason why they're potentially going to win this football game.
Hayden Moore will be in there at quarterback with Wimberly to his left. Moore looking to pass. He's just going to take off and run, showcase some of that speed, crosses midfield, and down to the 42-yard line. So a good run and some good speed from the Minnesota commit, Hayden Moore.
And it's good to see him kind of getting some stuff going tonight. He's been kind of shut down for a high majority of tonight by that Hawthorne defense, but you can see the electricity when he gets the ball in his hands and he's able to get into some open space. He can make things happen. They just got to make this a priority here moving forward for the rest of the season.
Nice run for a UF Health Ortho Care first down. That one's going to be picked, and this one should be taken all the way to the house. That's Nathan Jennings, and he's going to outrun everybody to the corner of the end zone, and this Hawthorne defense continues to dominate here in Newberry tonight.
Goodness gracious, just turning it on. Cut the lights off, put the kids to bed. This Hawthorne team, and this is, this is defense personified. Now, you probably wouldn't want, Hayden Moore chucking the ball around, but this is the athlete. This is the athletes that you'll see. If you want to go far in the playoffs, if you want to go and make a deep run at it, this is the kind of players that you're going to see if you're Newberry. And sure enough, this is what's going on tonight, what's happening now. Flag on the field.
Yeah, referees discussing a little extracurricular activity again. So another Radiant Credit Union touchdown. If it's not brought back.
Blocking the back. Yeah, they're going to bring that back.
So blocking the back, that was certainly not necessary.
No, it wasn't at all.
Jennings was well beyond everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, he's scoring that touchdown no matter what. That blocking the back never even made sense.
So not a pick six, and points will be taken off the board. It's been 20 straight points by Hawthorne. Newberry at one point led it 7-6, but 20 unanswered by the boys wearing white tonight.
I mean, minus the one fumble in the second half, Hawthorne's been great on offense in the second half. They've done pretty much whatever they wanted, and then you could probably even rewind that script to the first half of this game where Newberry offered very little resistance. And, if you're Hawthorne, if you're Newberry, you got to be able to figure out this defense. After last week and what's going on this week, just not a really good situation.
Roundtree trying to go deep again, and good coverage there by Newberry's Demetrius DeBose. Intended for Harvey. Already had the one big reception tonight down to the 1 yard line. Again, the son of Derek Harvey, former Gator.
Yeah, big time defensive end that could really get after a quarterback.
You see the Hawthorne cheerleaders, the happier side tonight. Gillens will get the handoff. Nice hole up the middle. He plows over a couple of guys crossing the 30-yard line. That's good enough for a first down. A GFL first down. Green today, green for life. That's a strong, strong man.
You know what that reminds me of? I went bowling the other week and I knocked down the 10-pin with my bowling ball.
Ooh, that a baby.
That's exactly what it looked like right there, right? He comes rolling up the middle. They run that counter play for like the umpteenth time tonight, and sure enough, you got two guys that just have to make a business decision. It's like you got 225 pounds, looks more 230, 235, coming down at your neck. You have to figure out a way to get this guy to the ground, and sure enough, he's done that all night. The offensive line, which we give them credit, right?
Yep.
Offensive linemen don't get enough credit. Offensive line for Hawthorne has done a fantastic job of blocking between the tackles tonight.
Other handoffs, some speed to the outside. Now, do you still put the bumpers down when you go bowling?
Jeff, absolutely.
You have to, right?
So I can say I didn't throw a gutter ball. No, funny story is that my dad back in the day used to take us bowling, and we were league bowlers, and I carried a 215 league average.
Did you really?
Scratch.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good, Jeff.
You throw it hard right down the middle, or you actually spin it?
I throw it with a curve, into the pocket.
Okay.
Like, something we learned. We've been bowling since we were like 11 years old, and that would be our avenue.
That a baby.
Yeah, so it kind of reminded me of Derek Gillens going down that middle, right? Just throwing my spare ball and picking up my spares.
You learn something every day, folks.
Sure do.
See, you got to listen to Friday Night Rivals each and every week. Fun facts about Shannon. And another penalty for Newberry is going to inch Hawthorne a little closer, make it 1st and goal here for the Hornets.
I mean, this has been utter domination in the second half by Hawthorne, if we're being honest, Jeff. And that's just something with Coach Ed Johnson. You got to figure something out, right? You're starting off 0-2, and you still got a gauntlet ahead of you of teams that could knock you off. And I know he's not going to feel good about this. I know he's going to go back to the drawing board, but he's got to do something with his offense, right? He's got to do something, get this running game going, be able to get this play action, which we saw earlier in the game, look really good, get that going a little bit. But this is just not a way you want to come out against a team that's the defending state runner-up. The defending state runner-ups.
Roundtree zips it over to Wiggins for a minimal gain. So 2nd and goal now from the 5-yard line. Under 4 minutes to go. Roundtree going for the corner, but Harvey is going to be pulled down. Single coverage over there. Demetrius DuBose, who has done a good job of defending tonight. Looked like he just pulled Harvey down and didn't allow the jump ball to happen.
He did. There was flags flying all over there, so it was kind of a no-brainer right there. But sure enough, just another. And right now they're playing with house money. You can figure Hawthorne's just trying to practice some plays, throw their flag plays, or throw their fades out there to the corner. So expect to see a run in here and put this game to bed.
So that inches Hawthorne a few yards closer. Second and goal again from the 3-yard line. Man in motion, they'll hand it off and right up the gut. Be just short.
Yeah, and nice stop right there by Newberry, not giving in to this, but hey, runs the clock down a little bit, and as the clock ticks down, it's 3 minutes and 23 seconds left on this game clock. We're in a spot that this game is pretty much well in hand, and both teams obviously have some stuff to work on. If you're Newberry, gotta figure out the offense. All right, you can't say the defense. Defense has been on the field quite a bit tonight. You got to figure out this offense.
Well, nice stop again. Good pursuit there by Newberry. As big old number 99, Cody Bloodworth, gets some action. The sophomore saying, hey, I want to play a little bit more.
And maybe this is an evaluation period, Jeff. It's like, hey, what do we take away from, getting beat and, really getting trounced on in the second half, is that there's maybe some guys that are, sitting on the bench that need more playing time, or some guys that, need more time to be looked at out there on the field because they want to play. Does this feel good if you're down 26-7? No, but there's definitely some takeaways here, and it's good to see this Newberry defense still playing their hearts out.
Well, they'll bring Gillens back in, but Ed Johnson's going to call a timeout. And a big 4th down stop he is hoping to have. So big day in college football tomorrow. It all gets started at 12 o'clock, where Texas and Ohio State will get after it. We'll see what Arch Manning is all about. And Shane, I think the strangest thing with that is, I mean, a lot of people think that he's the Heisman favorite.
Right.
And this is a guy that's only thrown 4 touchdowns in his whole college career.
What do you, I mean, that's a lot of pressure to come in and really try to perform and try to be the guy, per se, right off the bat. I mean, the Heisman odds on him are now, it probably just goes to show his pedigree and a lot of that other stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, the game has still got to get played. Ohio State is probably not taking very well to that. And they were saying, hey, listen, this guy's not going to – I mean, could his Heisman moment happen tomorrow? Yeah, maybe it could, right? But you're coming out of the gate against Ohio State, who is the defending national champions. And
in their place.
Like you're asking a lot of a guy that just really stepped onto the college football gridiron. But we'll see. That's why they play the game.
That is why. You got, of course, the Gator game here locally, and then about that same time, you got LSU Clemson at 7:30 tomorrow night.
Gauntlet of games on. So if you're not in front of your TV tomorrow night, if you're a college football fan, get the popcorn ready, get the brisket ready. I'm more aim towards brisket, get the brisket ready, and get ready for some good football.
All right, we'll get ready for a 4th and goal here. A couple yards to go. We'll see if Hawthorne can punch it in again. They brought Gillens back into the ball game. Roundtree will roll out to the right, and he's got his man, and that is another touchdown. 3rd touchdown toss of the night for the sophomore quarterback. And he's got the connection with Darian Bowie there for the touchdown.
Yeah, Bowie just kind of a menace tonight. He spiked that. He spiked the ball on the ground. They threw flags on him, but I mean, at this point in time, it's like, hey, you deserve to do it, right? Hawthorne came out and put together really just a fantastic offensive game plan, and really took it to Newberry tonight. Really, no other way to say that.
So unsportsmanlike after the touchdown. And it's 32-7 Hawthorne, a much different game than we have seen the last couple of years between these two squads.
Yeah, so close last year, and you know, Newberry had such a great squad, and you know, and that's the part that maybe a little bit head scratching here. They're able to come out, and it hyped it up all week that was the seniors' last go around to try to beat these Hawthorne Hornets, and you feel for them, and you want to see it get it done. And then what we saw earlier, even in the first half, you said, man, this is going to be a damn good game. But all of a sudden, when you get to face the Hawthorne Hornets and all forces of them, and you get to see the real them, you realize it's not as easy. It's easier said than done.
Well, we've got another flag. Looks like some movement before the snap, and it will be an offsides here on Newberry. Jennings saying, man, I finally made one. And they ran offsides.
Maybe it'd be poetic if he misses it now, so.
Well, no, they're actually going to back it up. So one referee called offsides. Yeah, they spotted it the wrong way. So now they'll go back the other way.
Well, that flag has hit the ground so many times tonight, they maybe don't even know which way they're going.
Yeah. So Jennings will get another shot at an extra point. He has missed every attempt tonight. A couple have been blocked. And the left-footed toe kicker gets it blocked again. So the issues still continue for Hawthorne with extra points, but no issues offensively tonight as they lead it with 2:20 to go, 32-7, as we head back down to the sidelines and hear from Randy.
Well, I'll tell you what, we talked a little earlier about family affair situations. We should mention, too, Greg Bowie, that's his son who's playing. Greg is the AD and also the athletic director at Hawthorne High School. On the other side, Brian Roundtree, no relation, is the AD at Newberry. His father-in-law is Rich Bisaccia, who is the special teams coach for the Green Bay Packers. Also, worked for the Tampa Bay Bucks when they won the Super Bowl, was also the head coach of the Raiders when John Gruden got fired, and he took them to the playoffs. So it is a family affair here tonight.
Yeah, it certainly is, Randy, and that's always really cool to hear those types of stories, and we'll hear a lot of those. I think, Shannon, the hardest part about all this is, guys that we started playing with, like, they all have kids in college now.
Oh, my gosh.
And all these things are happening.
It's crazy. Listen, Jeff, I was at a volleyball tournament a couple months ago, and I saw 4 guys that I played with in college and in the pros. Yeah. I'm like, what are y'all doing here? They were like, oh, our daughters are playing. I'm like, oh, my God. We have completely aged ourselves here. So it's actually pretty funny to watch, coaches and players and former players, as we mentioned before the broadcast, former Gator players that are all scattered out throughout North Central Florida as coaches.
Another Sky Frog tree service kickoff, and that one is not amounting to much as Keandre Williams is driven around down about the 35-yard line. Even talking about families, LIU comes in tomorrow, and they've got Todd Bowles' son, Todd Bowles Jr., of course, the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And you think about that, it's like when you watch Todd Bowles, it's like his son now, or it's just, and that's the thing, as time goes on, it's actually cool to see when family members like the Frank Gore Jr.'s, a lot of the kids that, or a lot of the adults, their parents that you got to watch them play or play with them together or call the game or whatever that may have been, their kids are now playing, and soon enough, gosh, their kids are going to be playing, so.
It does seem like a lot more now, though, like guys from our generation, maybe in their mid-40s, high 40s. We'll stop it at that. But you don't really see that a lot of guys from the older generation had a bunch of kids playing. But I think now with, the way these travel teams are and the way you can, work out and at some of these combines and different things that, these guys put their kids in it, and they all want to be a part of it from a young age.
Which is great. I think a lot of times, even for myself, I wish this was around when I was younger and you could go to these camps and do all this stuff, because it gives them a great base. A lot of times when you were younger, and I was, myself, and even for you for baseball, you would play high school or you play junior high or something like that, go to high school with the hopes of going to college and then going to pro. Now you got AAUs, you got travel balls, you got all sorts of things and all sorts of avenues to get better, to have more of a showcase and more of a highlight reel, if you will. And I think it's great because you get to see a lot of people that were stars and were productive back in the day, and their kids are starting to take over.
Yeah, a bunch of academies now, and everything is turning into that. All right, Newberry's trying to generate some type of offense. Here's a nice little run as Darius Ford gets the opportunity, the junior. Tailback with a nice shifty gain there. That'll make it 3rd and short.
Yeah, just winding down, and you got to go into takeaway mode here if you're Newberry and Hawthorne, right? Hawthorne, you got to feel good. 32 points up on the board. Kind of a smack back to what happened last year. Last year was such a tight game, and Hawthorne played well, but they made a bunch of mistakes and kept Newberry around, and Newberry almost walked away with that game. Still walked away with it with an overtime victory, but I think Hawthorne said, hey, the real Slim Shady showed up, and sure enough, they did. They did everything they wanted on the ground offensively. Richard Roundtree, I think, has taken another step forward for this offense and garnered more experience for these later games, and that defense is still scintillating. So, Hawthorne, as young as they are, they still are going to be pretty feared here in this for the rest of the season.
Ford trying to get there again. He can't, as Javonte Williams, junior DB, comes up and puts a stick, and that'll make it 4th down as we are under a minute to go now in the ball game, and Newberry is going to punt it away.
Yeah, once again conceding this up, and you don't want anybody else to get hurt in this football game. And if you're Coach Ed Johnson, you want to go back, and there's Coach Cornelius Ingram. Give him his flowers. That man has created a dynasty, if you really want to call it that, over in Hawthorne. That this community. If you look at the stands over there, all right, they support them long and strong. They're across town, but they always mob up and come deep and really bring the best of the best. They bring their best football team. They bring their best play calling on that sideline, and the fans support them. So that's going to be a tough group to beat over there, no matter the opponent on the other side of the sideline.
Johnson will call timeout with just over 10 seconds to go in this one. And it looks like they might try to work on something, run one more play. And, you know, for Ed Johnson, too, certainly an 0-2 start is disappointing. I mean, it's the team that went 9-2 a season ago, but also two very tough opponents to start. So I think as he now starts to ease into it, you've got lesser opponents coming up, and you just got a chance to go back to the drawing board and try to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. And you never want to start out with the two teams that you did. You know, both of them year in and year out are tough draws. Right, and this game has been somewhat of a, we've always looked forward to it, just because of the amount of talent that's on the field in both the skill position and on the lines, and the fact that it's always been relatively close. It's been a very competitive football game, despite what you may see here tonight. It's always been something that we always expected to come down to a close ending. So fortunately, it wasn't like that tonight. But congrats to the Hawthorne Hornets on being who we thought they were and really taking their game to the next level.
So Caden Bush back to punt one more time. Low snap. And they're going to fake it. They'll just throw it out into no man's land, and that ball is going to settle down. And they'll just allow the clock to run out. So that'll do it. Big night for Hawthorne tonight as they continue to play really good football. And tonight, 32 on the board, allowing just several interceptions, but big night for Richard Roundtree, throwing 3 touchdowns, running in for one more, and Cornelius Ingram and Ed Johnson will give some high fives there at midfield. So let's look at tonight's IBEW Local 1205 Player of the Game. International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 1205, powering a brighter future. And shocker, it is number 5. He was really good tonight, the sophomore quarterback.
Yeah, Richard Roundtree throwing for 3 touchdowns, as you mentioned. A dime right here, one of the best throws that we've seen so far in this young season, but able to get that rushing touchdown and really being the cog in this wheel, right? This offense runs off the quarterback. And we saw C.J. Ingram last year and what he was able to do for the offense, and Richard Roundtree getting some really important reps last year as well. It showed tonight. It showed in the second game of the season, and he's going to be counted on here further in the season by Hawthorne to keep doing what he did here tonight.
So a happy Richard Roundtree. And we've got Randy ready to find those guys and have a pro-free presentation. We'll do all that when we come back as Hawthorne wins it tonight 32-7 on IBEW Local 1205's Friday Night Rivals. We welcome you back. Hawthorne winners tonight 32-7 over Newberry, and we've got Randy right in the heart of that post-game conversation with some hardware to give away.
I am well protected right now. I have about 47 offensive linemen here waiting to protect me no matter what. Coach, speaking of that, protection was better in the second half. Talk about your team's play in the second 24 minutes.
Well, we challenged our guys at halftime. We know the caliber kids we have. We challenge them every single day at practice. So everyone stepped up, gave Roundtree some time, and he made some big-time throws.
And talk about youth. Is this team getting older by the minute?
Yeah, man. You know, having a team full of freshmen and sophomores says a lot about their character, right? A lot of them have to grow up fast, but we throw them in the fire. And I think with the experience they've had, you know, even last year if they didn't play as much, stepping into key roles now, and they're ready for their big moment. And our coaching staff, we teach our guys that mindset, and as you can see, it showed tonight.
Speaking of sophomores, here's R squared. Richard Roundtree joins us as your player of the game. And talk about your mindset going into this game. Always a big rivalry game, but emotion can sometimes get the better of you. You seem to be cool and collected. What was your thought process going into this contest tonight?
It was just have fun while playing in the game. I know I got the guys around me that's going to help me make every play, so I just got to trust in them every single play.
Is it tough being a leader as a sophomore?
No, sir. No pressure at all.
Do you have a driver's license yet?
No, sir.
Nobody can drive the team down the field, can he? Well, Coach, Richard, team, congratulations on behalf of the IBEW Local 1205. There you go.
All right, Randy, great stuff as always. Congratulations to Richard Roundtree and, of course, Cornelius Ingram for pulling that thing off. We've got another big one, Shannon, next week. Eastside and Buchholz getting after. Buchholz got a big game tonight against Vero Beach, so we'll see how that happens, but it will be good to get to Citizens Field.
Yeah, the Bobcats versus Eastside, another big rivalry game. We got 3 for 3 coming up next week. Can't wait to see it. Eastside pulled off a big win last week, so we'll see what the Bobcats and the Rams can do against one another.
So all of us would like to thank the wonderful partners, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 1205 and Radiant Credit Union, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for the viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsors, supporters for their contributions to our 2025 Friday Night Rivals telecast. Parks Motor Group of Gainesville, Mission Metals, Pavlov Media, Bounds Heating and Air, Sonny's Barbecue, GFL, Call a Mattress, UF Health, OrthoCare, Skyfrog Tree Service, and Tucker Chiropractic. And of course, I'd like to thank each and every one of our participating schools tonight. It was Hawthorne and Newberry, 2 great principals, 2 great athletic directors, and certainly some great people to be around tonight. For Shannon Snell, Dustin, Ben, our great camera crew, and everybody that was a part of this thing, I am Jeff Cardozo. We look forward to talking to you next week from Citizens Field as the Hornets win it tonight 32-7.
Thank you to our valued sponsor partners who make this telecast of Friday Night Rivals possible. IBEW Local Union 1205, Radiant Credit Union, and Parks Motor Group. Also, thank you to our great sponsor supporters for their contributions. Pavlov Media, GFL Environmental, UF Health OrthoCare, Sonny's Barbecue, Bounds Heating and Air, Skyfrog Tree Service, Mission Metals Manufacturing, Call a Mattress Superstore, and Tucker Chiropractic. And a special thanks to tonight's participating high schools for their continued support.